proud here to present you guys as the desk hosting today. And well, today here we have a team of GameStonks up against the White Cres and DPS here. You see from both these two teams, they perform really well from yesterday here. And there's a like a twisted here. Yesterday we both of the analyzers and casters they predict like it's going to be McDonald's fan club up against the Tina God Slayer, but well, anything could happen here. It turns out is GameStonks up against so it's just a TPS here. So well, although yesterday there were some twisted, but there were so many like exciting moments here. For example, like Ampha popped up on Breaking Balls, on against Tina Gostley. Here we have Fear of God popping up on Tracer. We have so many people here. We have Shermanese, who was nominated as Player of the Match by Oputo and Akame here. And also for GameStonks, we have an Erelix as McCree. He popped up so much here, and we have like an easy clap Breaking Ball clutched on King's Road. That's memorable too. And we also have like DPS line from GameStone just rolling all over the team of McDonald's fan club here. So well, for today's here we have these talents playing for us today. So it's going to be exciting for sure. And me, yesterday I was on the edge of my seat, and today here I cannot wait to looking forward for them. All right, so before we're going, let me explain today's like how it's going to play here. So let's go for the tournament structures here. We're at grand finals. All right, so it's GameStone up against White Cres on DPS here. It's going to be a best of 7. Or it's going to be first to 4 matches. Like whoever teams win the first 4 sets here, they're going to take the W here and win the tournament here. And also the winning team of the tournament here will get to choose one of the organizations to donate to charity as US dollars. So if you guys want to contribute to the donation pool, you can click the link down below here. There's a picture of QR code, and also there's a links here. There's a links for y'all who's not Thai. You can also click the another link here. But for those of you who are Thai, you can also click another link here. 100% of proceeds will be used to fund the donation pool of our next charity events and tournament. And also a reward tiers from our channel will be announced soon. All right, so before we're going on GameStone up against versus White Cres and TPS here. All right, so let me introduce to you here. I'm not alone. We have 2 analyzers here along with me. So all right, let me introduce to you Ayako and Oputo. Say hi.
Hi. Hello.
All right, so before we're going to watch these 2 teams play together, let's just have a little bit of analyzing here between these 2 teams. We saw from the yesterday their performance. Both of them play really well. For Tina Gosslayer up against White Cres and DPS. White Cres and DPS just roll Tina Gosslayer 3-2. And so for GameStonks versus McDonald's fan club, we have a 3-0, like a 3 from GameStonks here. Both of the team, they're doing really good here. All right, so start off with let's analyze it for each team. All right, Oputos, I want to ask you, like, what do you think? Like, what do you see inside the team of GameStonks? Let's start with GameStonks first.
I think GameStone they prepare how to play against enemy team pretty well. Yeah, that's what I see from them, I think.
Yeah, and what about the White Cres and DPS? What do you see?
White Cres on DPS, they try to reliable what they are good at. Like they play the best hero that player can play and perform pretty well. Yeah.
All right, so what about you, Ayako? What do you see inside these 2 teams here? Let's start off with GameStonks. All right, let's go.
Okay, so I was actually the observer for yesterday. So like when I was watching GameStonks, it felt like they were the team whereby you wouldn't know what they're gonna run. You don't know what they're gonna do with their team comps. So they're just basically there to surprise you. So I think that's like the good thing about their team is like that element of surprise that they have. So yeah, that's what coming from GameStonks. That's what I saw yesterday.
All right, so Ayako here. Which team do you think is superior today between GameStonks and White Cres and TPS?
This actually is pretty hard to decide because both teams, like why is Cres on DPS runs more of like Ball, Diva, Zarya, which most teams usually don't run. Most teams run Winston, they run Ryan. Why is Cres also runs Echo, which is not really seen in a tournament. And against GameStonks, who likes to run like double main tank, they like to pull out the Symmetra and stuff sometimes. So it's actually going to this game is matter of like which team is able to adapt to to the other team better, or which team is able to surprise like the other team better. I think that's what will be. I really can't really comment about the outcome. It could go to any team. Yeah.
All right, so both teams, they are unpredictable. All right, so what about Oputo? What do you think? Which team do you think is superior today?
It's kind of hard to, I think, because like what I could say, because I said like what team I think
GameStonks and
GameStonks they always like prepare and surprise enemy team, but while chess on DPS they always like play the comp that enemy team never practiced before. I think like it's not weird comp, but it's a meta comp for me. So I think while chess on DPS might be win today for me. I think I think they play better. Yeah.
All right, so why is Cres and DPS here from Oputos? All right, so Ayako, for my second questions, what should we expect from GameStonks here? Like yesterday they played like Winston Ball, Ryan Sigma. They also have like Farah Echo, Anna Mercy, Anna Brick here, which is like they're so unpredictable here. So what do you think, Ayako? What should we expect?
I think they're probably gonna do crazier things today. I'm hoping to see crazier things today. Maybe like a Winston Ball, whip out the Ryan Winston again. Looking at GameStonks, I know some of the players in there. Expect crazy things from them. I feel today's show is gonna be a good one.
So GameStong is more like a meme teams,
Yeah,
they're so unpredictable here. So what about you, Oputo? What should we expect from GameStonks?
I expect their backline to play better, because I feel like yesterday they didn't do good enough on backline, especially like protect each other. Because when you play again YHS on DPS, they always like diving together at the same time, and that might be the problem for them. Yeah. So I think expect their backline to play better today.
Right. So, well, this team is they are unpredictable, of course. So anything can happen. All right. So I'm gonna go with you, Oputo. For my third question, what's the difference you notice between these two teams, between GameStonks and GameStonks and Cres and DPS? What's the difference?
I think why Cres on DPS they try to reliable on their strength. Like they play what they're good at. Compared to GameStonks, they try to like play the comp that enemy team don't know how to play against, and they try to counter enemy teams. This is what I feel like the different play style, I think. And while Cres on DPS, they play really aggressive and more flexible. Yeah.
Right. So what about you, Ayako here? What's the difference you notice between these two teams?
For Wise Cres on DPS, they are more disciplined in some of their fights. Like they know how to hold ultimates for certain fights. They know when to use what. They feels like they plan a lot of like these fights out, like pre-fight planning and whatnot going in. GameStonks, it feels more of like, I got this. Let's use this. I have Nano, just Nano. So they are more of like I feel they are more of a spontaneous kind of team. So yeah, one team it feels more structured. With the Ball Diva, the dives are like they plan it well. They're coordinated. GameStone is more of like, let's go in, let's see what we have. So it's kind of like the opposite, like two different like types of teams you have going up against each other today. Yeah.
So Cres TV is more like a competitive team here, but GameStonks more like a ranked team. They're like the team that will play in a ranked game, but Cres DPS, they are more like disciplined than GameStonks here. All right, so quite interesting here. We see some diversity between these two teams, and well, we can expect anything from them. All right, so for my third question here, Ayako, the first map is going to be a Lijiang Tower. So, which team do you think that would take the lead between GameStonks and Cres and DPS?
I think the first map is gonna go to GameStonks. because Lijiang Tower has pretty much maps where it just says, let's run Winston Ryan, let's just run into them. So like I have a feeling that GameStonks might pull it out on the control center, because like once you leave the spawn doors, you pretty much don't really change up as much, because of ultimates. So I think with like how spontaneous and how random GameStonks can be, I think that will give them the victory for the first map.
All right. So what about you, Obuto? What do you think?
Oh, it's hard to pick one team because why Cres on DPS did they play him yesterday? Ayako?
Sorry.
You know that? Did they play him yesterday? Like GameStonks or why Cres on DPS?
GameStong, they Casadox play Symmetra.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like GameStonks might be win in Legion Tower because their Symmetra stat. I feel like Chess on DPS they don't know how to play against him that much. But if GameStonks don't have like good discipline, they can lose this map. Yeah. But I feel like GameStonks gonna be win the first map. Yeah.
All right. So we see GameStongs, they play some sheets like a Symmetra. And all right, also Obuto here, I'm gonna ask you one more question. So why is Cres and TPS going to play sheets come against GameStonks, and if they play, will it work? What do you think?
I don't think they can play that cheese strategy. I feel like GameStonks can cheese more than Cres on DPS. Because Cres on DPS they play what they're good at, not like surprise strategy. Yeah.
All right. So again, I'm bad here. Is Why is Cres and DPS playing sheets against GameStonks? It was yesterday that Why is Cres and DPS playing sheets. So what do you think, Ayako? Will Why is Cres and DPS play sheets against GameStonks? And if they play, will it work here? So what do you think?
Okay, so yesterday, Wise Cres on DPS went cheese twice. They went Bastion on 2 parts of like their entire match, and both times didn't work well for them. Like I think they ran Bastion on
Hollywood, right?
I watched Point Gibraltar. I think the one the car wash, Yeah, they went car wash strat, but then they didn't touch point. So the car just went past. And then they also went a Bastion comp on Busan, where the enemy team was running rush, and the enemy team actually kept the point. So I think if Wise Cres wants to win on Lijiang, I think they should just avoid cheese. Because I think GameStonks is probably going to pull it off better than them. Yeah. But anything can happen. I mean, if one team runs Symmetra, one team runs Bastion, you never know who's going to win. So it's really just up to whether both teams can just step up their game from yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting excited right now to see some crazy things from these two teams here. All right, so before we're going in the match here, why not let's just do some predictions, just like yesterday. Yesterday here we did some predictions, and it didn't get along in our way here. But today's is grand finals. There's with so many exciting things waiting for us here. So why not inviting our two casters today here? We've got Dax and also Mika Fabs here for casters on Caster Dex here. So let's welcome these two and say hi, you two.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
All right. So let's start off with you two casters here. All right. So for the prediction between GameStonks and Wise Cres and DPS, which team do you think will win today?
Good question. Mika, you go first.
No, you go first. You go first.
I'll go first. So, I've been watching a little bit of the games for previous days. I've noticed that these guys actually met in the second day of group stages. But from yesterday's performance, I gotta give it to GameStonks, who can look a lot more dominant compared to YS Cres on DPS. Every single time we saw YS Cres on DPS get a win in their semifinal, it was really at the closest of margins. So maybe GameStonks just really having that edge coming into this one. Maybe 4-1 in favor of GameStonks for me.
So it's GameStonks. All right. So what about you, Mika? What do you think?
For this map, I believe we're going into Lijiang. Is that right? I actually think my vote is going to go to YS Cres on DPS, just because I was thoroughly entertained by them yesterday. I know it is a cheese strat and everything, but they also show a lot of unity and synergy. And in a map like Lijiang, if they can pull off, if they can play the way they did yesterday, just like that, I think they have this map. However, I do agree with Dax in that maybe the series is going to GameStonks, but we'll see. We'll see. History may repeat itself.
Ooh, anything can
All
happen.
right. Well, anything can happen. It's interesting. All right. So we heard that from our two casters here. All right. So let's hear that from our two analyzers here. All right. So Oputo, which team do you think they will win today?
Okay, we should not pick the same team, okay? Because we're gonna jinx them like yesterday. Like when Analyze and Caster pick the same team, they always lost the game. So
Yeah.
I trust in why it shares on DPS because I feel like they more like they can flexible and they can adapt in game. So I feel like they're gonna win
right.
today.
All right. So it's why it's Cres on DPS from Oputo. Say, what about you, Ayako? Which team do you think they will win today?
I think it will be 2-1 in favor of GameStonks.
Oh.
Today. Yeah, one being the garden map, I feel. But yeah, I think it's gonna be GameStonks for Jichang.
What about the rest of the game? Like, who's going to win the
Oh,
series?
rest of the game.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
I think it's gonna go to a tiebreaker in
Ooh.
favor of GameStonks. Yeah, I'm sticking with GameStonks. The how they played yesterday, how spontaneous they were. I think they're gonna surprise a lot of surprise Wise Crest today. So yeah, 4-3 GameStonks.
So well, it's 3 GameStonks from Ayako, Dax, and Mika, and it's also a one Wise Crest TBS from Oputo's here. Also, well, anything can happen. I mean, like y'all can be wrong here. Why is Cres the DPS might win today's? But well, we will see soon. Here, I'm getting more excited right now. All right, so we're about to get into the games here. I will pass your stage. I'll pass the stage to you two, Dax and Mika here. So, I mean, well, let's see together who is going to win today. So the stage is yours, Dax and Mika.
Okay. Thank you to all our amazing analysts and our host Fupa there for giving us a little bit of that pre-show, Mika. I learned a lot, I'm just listening to them.
I did
giving
too.
the advice. There's so much things to actually break down, but we're gonna be breaking down up to 7 games of action here. Best of 7. We're in for here for a long time, so you guys better get some dinner, better get some snacks, because this is gonna be some great action here between our two teams. GameStonks versus Why is Cres on DPS. And what do you think, Mika? We were talking a bit about those predictions, but what have you noticed about these two teams?
I do have to admit, I am, I did really enjoy watching Wisecraft and DPS yesterday, and they are a team with a lot of synergy, as they mentioned. I believe, Claire did tell us that they do emphasize heavily on teamwork. That even if they do something stupid, that was on purpose. That they meant to do that. And it was like teamwork. So it was still stupid teamwork in that sense. So I am a big fan of that. But GameStonks here, they have a really strong record in the PAC tournament so far. And I do like what Ayako pointed out, that they have a wide hero pool. So this is where Crescent DPS might struggle, a little bit. GameStonks have the luxury, so to say, of going crazy.
Exactly.
And
They can do whatever.
White Crescent DPS, might be a little limited here.
Yeah, might be. Like, why is Crescent DPS name itself already a commitment by the team to just say, oh, this is gonna be this team we're in. We will try to play the best we can. And when we look at what is Cres on DPS, these guys have really known each other. These guys have really said, okay, we will commit as a roster. And we'll be checking out that roster really soon. I do want to see who's going to be there for tonight, and it will be here for GameStonks actually. Philwell, Easy Clap, Casadox, Earlex, JPixis, and Lolitron. So we're seeing GameStonks right now, and we'll be checking out the other team very soon. But Mika, what do you think about this 6-man roster for now?
I think that this is a really strong roster. They do have a good starting lineup. I think this is also, this was also their strongest lineup, I believe, from yesterday. And yeah, I do think that this is really solid. But I do worry if they can sustain this, if we're going into all of the 7 games, if they are going to, stick with this, and can they actually hold out?
Yeah, fatigue might be a little bit of an issue here, but eyes on Easy Clap, eyes on Earlicks. These two can really pop off. Easy Clap going over to that tank role and enjoying his time in the PAC tournament. In the meantime, Earlicks, incredible hit scan prowess, time and time again. Getting the shots, getting the hits, making it happen. I got a little bit of a special spot though for Lolitron here. I do believe he's the only Filipino left in the tournament running right now, so you gotta give it to that support
Presenting.
line.
Representing that
Represent.
Pinoy pride.
All our PH teams are gone. Like what after last weekend? Unfortunate. But also, I do want to check out what Cassidox can bring to the table because he is the one flexing on the round, finding ways to at least give GameStonks a little bit of that edge, that nudge. And like you said, they're a lot more flexible than their opponents in this night.
Absolutely. And Firewall and Easy Clap on that, on the tank lineup was just amazing to watch yesterday. And they are incredibly diverse. And it's difficult to stop them once they get started. And that's just a tank lineup. They do have the follow-up from their amazing DPS. So Wise Cres and DPS do have an uphill battle ahead of them.
Yeah, and speaking of that team, let's check out their roster as well. Starting 6 gonna be Ampha, Charmaine, Fear of God, Claire, Nabbit, and Adrealis. So pretty much, why is Cres on DPS? He's been on DPS all throughout the tournament, and they made it to the grand finals just because of his efforts alongside his team.
That is right. And you know what? The one that we have to watch out for here, I believe, Fear of God was just amazing. Has just been amazing. Really living up to that namesake and putting the Fear of God in everybody else.
A bit scared actually, but someone else to mainly watch out for has to be Charmaine. But basically, this tank really proving himself time and time again. Usually on that off tank role, except when they play that Rhine composition, from what I've noticed, and then he just takes the tip of that spear, brings in the hammer, and goes for the kill. So tank line battle is gonna be amazing. DPS battle is gonna be amazing. The support line, I'd say this is really their time to step it up for both squads because they might be able to get that make or break moments, and we are going to be checking out the maps very, very soon as well. Lijiang Tower will be our first one here. It will be Control. Next on the list will be Hybrid Escort, Assault, Hybrid Escort in that order, and I believe Control to wrap it up later on into the night. We'll get confirmation in that. But Lijiang Tower, Mika, any expectations for this one? Symmetra's abound. What do you think?
I do hope Symmetra's abound. Yes, indeed. I mean, Crescent DPS yesterday, I think they did really, really well on this particular map where they did run, I believe, Fear of God on Symmetra. And it was incredibly entertaining. So I can't wait to see that. But we also do have Cassidox that does have that Symmetra in his hand as well. So I guess we're going to be seeing a lot of turrets on this map on Legion.
A lot of things to just shoot for you. But if I remember correctly, why is Crest on DPS? They had such a uphill battle against their semifinal opponent, but except on that last map of Lijiang Tower, they realized it's our time to make it to the grand final, and it's our time to face off against GameStonks, who had the perfect record in that semifinal. Now it is going to be time for us to get into the game. Let's see who's going to be taking this first map. Wise Cres on DPS versus GameStonks on Lijiang Tower. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, to the grand final of the PAC tournaments. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is the grand finals of the PAC Community Charity Tournament Beta. Winner will be having $50 donated to their charity of choice. It's been 2 weekends of amazing action, and we will start this final night here on Garden, Mika.
Right, and just to remind everybody that, of course, if you like what you see tonight, if you like what you've been seeing the past 2 weeks, you are very much welcome to donate so we can keep this community effort ongoing.
Yeah, we've seen the links time and time again, Ko-Fi, and well as bit.ly if need be. So let's actually, since we're getting a little bit of a pause, let's check out that charity link real quick just to make sure that everyone's on the same page on that one. But there you go, guys. ko-fi.com/Pacific Overwatch. And for you people in Thailand, it's bit.ly/Pacific Overwatch instead. 100% of these donations going to be going to our next tournament fund to make sure that we can sustain ourselves, sustain the community as much as possible. We'll also be having some reward tiers announced soon for all our lovely supporters, and we thank you guys for every little bit that you donated, all of the interactions that you've given to this community, and we're just happy for you guys to be watching all of the action. We're just happy to have you all here, and this is the perfect night to enjoy some Overwatch. It's the last day of February and the last day of our tournament beta.
That actually caught me off guard. I'm like, oh, it is the last day of February. Yeah, that is right. But it's like it's absolutely like efforts like this that really help sustain the community while we're waiting for Overwatch 2. Maybe.
Oh,
Yeah.
Overwatch 2. We'll
Maybe
see
this
you in
year,
like
maybe next year.
no, that's probably next year. We'll see you next year, guys. But no, it is gonna be the year of the Ox and the year of these two teams looking to face off. And GameStonks immediately going for that Symmetra TP just to move on around. And ooh, Nabbit, what are you doing?
Oh.
So what's happening? Is this gonna be some movement all around? Seems like though it's already Wisecrest on DPS on that point. Fear of God playing the Symmetra for now. Claire in the meantime playing the Echo. And while we see the tower take here for GameStonks, turrets are set up. Wisecrest on DPS. They're so quick to actually get onto that point. And Nabbit this time, he's not the one falling down. It's J-Pix is falling over there to the koi pond. And it's this easy take here for the red team, Mika. They're all set up and ready to go.
I see an easy clap over here in GameStonks really doing their homework and just really trying to get Claire down. As you can see, she's just chilling in the background. They are just heading straight for her and making sure she doesn't get anyone.
We'll see though, as already GameStonks trying to figure out what to even do. Wisecrest on DPS, just getting some passive progress by this point. And really goes to show when you let that symmetric composition set up on that point very, very quickly, then those turrets gonna be pesky as flies. But now speaking of the flyer, Claire getting tracked down here by Cassidox. Recall gonna get popped. Immediately, this will be the Wrecking Ball trying to get on away. Movement all around, though. There we go with a quick little flashbang. Earlix really showing the power of that McCree. But Fear of God now will get the trade. Earlix still getting some free shots. And GameStonks, this might be an opportunity for them to actually get onto that point. The Zarya right now getting hit quite a bit. Adraelis, they'll pop in that Immortality field to keep the people alive on site. But no, Earlix, Cassidox, and Easy Clap on the board. And when the DPS is free to get shots like this, Mika, GameStonks will be upping its value time and time again.
And just take a look at that. Just one clash is all GameStonks needed, and they almost have all of their ultimates at the ready. They will probably win this next clash as well, unless Wisecrest and DPS can probably do something. They do have that shatter coming in, and they do have the grab if they can get up in time. But yes, and they do have their DPS ultimates as well. So we'll see how they play out this next one. But right now, Cassidox right here is just really wrecking havoc as well as Easy Clap. So it seems like they're really just dividing the attention over here on Wisecrest and DPS, which is exactly how I feel like they should play, especially since Wisecrest and DPS, relies a lot heavily on their unity and synergy. But oh, there's a shatter and the counter with the pulse bomb. For that
Killed there by Cassidox, indeed. And Claire right now gonna be trying to move on around. Gravity Surge though will be into play. And Earlix finds a kill onto Nabbit there. Still though, rally beat popped here by J-Pix. It seems like the Deadeye already getting that reload on. Flashbang into the headshot. Easy pickings here from Earlix. And already an Electric Cowboy to remember here for Team GameStonks. They're really getting the kills with that revolver time and time again here, Mika.
I really want to commend the support line over here of GameStonks. They actually know, because they have that brig, they do want to get up close and personal, so they do wait for Cres on DPS to come into this nice little, this little hexagon that they have over here right in the middle, and they just trap them in there.
The hex for them, just gonna be looking to enjoy that one. But we'll see what kind of visions Cres on DPS gonna be having very, very soon, because the sound barrier gonna get popped. I know you love that show, and we're gonna be watching the show here again. Nabbit already with a quick speed boost out in front. Charmaine backing on out still for the time being, because Earlix still with the pressure. Phil will trying to make that shatter count, doesn't really get too much out of that one, and spin around, says Easy Clap, because it's all about the boobs here. Everyone gonna get caught out on the right-hand side, and really goes to show the control for GameStonks. Looking to be unparalleled, as a team kill might be the wrapping point for Gardens.
My goodness, and this is just it. This is it. This is the map, and they will get that first. They will get that first tick over there, and you know what? Really, just have to hand it to Easy Clap. He just really knew how to zone out everybody, and while we didn't see him on the kill feed, he was just keeping everybody distracted, just so that everybody could do their job, and the DPS could just get all of those picks.
Yeah, exactly. When you look at Easy Clap, I'd expect him to have some of the best game sense right now in these rosters, owing to his experience. But besides that, GameStonks now, they just say, okay, we'll be playing that ball, we'll be going around that site over and over and over again, and the point just basically encircled by GameStonks there. But now, Wisecrest on DPS. Commitment to the Symmetra seems to be the call here, Mika. And Night Market might even be a better map for it, but here we go! It will be May Symmetra for both sides. Ryan and Zarya, Brig Anado versus Brig Baptiste. We'll see what kind of support difference this will come into, as here we are checking out that point. The teleporter's almost in sync, and immediately there's the drop down for action. Cassidox though taking quite a bit of damage. There's the wall right now from Wisecrest on DPS. Claire trying to make that setup happen. Fear of God though with the first kill, the beam really strong for him, and immediately clean up on GameStonks as YS Cres on DPS get the mop, get the clean, and get this point very, very handily.
Just shows how crucial, that first setup is if you're running this symmetric composition. And, for Wisecrest on DPS, they did get that. And I think the Immortality Field really played a big part in that. They just, GameStonks just couldn't break them in, even though they had the exact same idea.
Still though, GameStonks now going to be changing it up, playing that Vara Mercy instead. And this time they're going to be looking to play that Barrage here, Mika. So what do you think? Wisecrest on DPS. They have that Sim, they have that Brig, they have that Rhine. Stay on the inside, try to contest. What's the plan right now for our defending team?
Right now, Wisecrest and DPS doesn't really have anybody that can directly counter the Pharah, so this might be smart on the side of GameStonks. But we'll see. Maybe they're relying on that Baptiste to take her out, but that's not exactly too smart, I think.
So much damage the support needs to do. So instead, Wisecrest and DPS realizing that it's 6v4 if you don't count that Power Mercy bombarding from the side. They take the fight to the bulk of GameStonks, and now it will be them cashing out to get another win in a clash. So it's another hold here for Wisecrest on DPS. Things will be very difficult for GameStonks until Earlix gets that Rocket Barrage. So he's trying to bully Nabbit here, at least make it a 5v4 on the ground. Claire right now going to be trying to go for the peel if ever. GameStonks, though, getting a lot of attention with this Bar of Mercy, and this might work out for them because they're already gonna have a fulcrum point. Grab the Surge is available. Rocket Barrage is also ready to go as the Surge does get popped onto the Reinhardt, and Phil will get the kill onto Charmaine there. Now it's time to make it rain, but the Ice Block is enough for the mate to stay alive. Claire can be able to keep up in this fight. GameStonks now committing though with that shield, and we'll see what this Photon Barrack can do for the attacking team. Will they be able to set up on site? That will be the question. Ampha on the right-hand side. Now here we go with Jermaine going for the Shatter. It does get the start on the J-Pixes. Castledog still gonna get on the board, and here comes GameStonks now with some free damage from above. Should be enough to try and mop up the floor and mop up this point capture.
I am on fire.
There you have it. Lolitron on the board. Adraelis does get one back. But overall, it does seem like GameStonks finding their footing, finding a way to actually get this capture, and just that space given to them enough for them to actually take this point, Mika. So there might be a little bit of tech issues there for Mika, but hey, Ampha right now whipping out that Graviton Surge instead. And here we do have, oh my god, this should be some boops. It's a charge to remember. And Charmaine is in this train, refusing to leave the station. YS on DPS, taking it back and more. And right now, they are just controlling as much as they can. Overtime ticking on down. Rocket Barrage, though, gonna get to unleashed here. Irlix is able to get 2, but Wisecrest on DPS taking 2 back, and now they are just setting up yet again. Here comes the Wrecking Ball though of Easy Clap. Ampha finds Pilgrim though along the way, and this is just gonna be the Zarya trying to get the damage done as much as possible. The Lucio though looks to try and go in, and Lolitron though gonna get vaporized by those turrets. And Wisecrest on DPS, they want to call Night Market their own home. They just want to get a good dinner for tonight, a good start to this series, and they are just mopping the floor of GameStonks time and time again. We have Earlix on the Doomfist. Can he get the punch to remember? It's not connecting whatsoever. Wisecrest on DPS will get one back. We are all tied up just for map number 1. Seems like Control Center will be the decider for this map.
My bad. I disconnected just very briefly there, right when the match was just getting really, really spicy.
That's okay, I got you. But here we are, round number 3 rather, for map number 1. Control Center though, the way to go. And what do you think? Any kind of changes for these two teams, Mika?
Right now, I think they're both doing really, really well. And I think if they're smart, they're gonna stick with what works so far.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if this is just gonna be the way to go. Claire, though, deciding, hey, Junkrat time might be the way to go. Earlix! He's doing the same thing. And, you know, back in the day, really into the Season 1, Season 2s of all things, Junkrat being such a popular pick on a map like this. Still very strong in the right hands as well. All about that bombardment. And can you say Riptide? Because I'm just waiting for those explosions to happen. As GameStonks now gonna be trying to take the high ground. Wisecrest on DPS already straight onto the point using that Symmetra. Fear of God really allowing them to move a lot quicker in these rotations. But in this case right now, Castlock's gonna be sticking on the side. Earlix still blows up Nabbit. That's the break going on already. Wisecrest on DPS gonna struggle to play and sustain in CQC. But we'll see if they can keep this one up. As here we go up in the air. That's gonna be the Zarya moving on the round. Earlix still quite low already, and just so much bombardment right now, so much pressure and so much chip damage here from GameStonks, allowing them to get the momentum and get the kills that they need here.
Oh, I remember Erlix on this Junkrat yesterday, and you know, he just knew exactly where to concentrate all of his damage on, and it seems like that is proving to be right. And in a map like, you know, in a map like this where it's, you know, very, very close quarters, all of these tiny little choke points, all of these tiny little corners are just playing to Erlix's advantage.
You know, play the bouncy game, just get that ball, bounce it around, and there is just no way for you to actually get away from it in the first place. But Claire this one, ready with that Riptire, and immediately the teleporter will bring it a lot closer. Oh, unfortunate for Billy Will, cannot stay alive. That is gonna be the Reinhardt going on down, and these cheeky plays from Cres on DPS, giving them a completely different dimension to play with. Both the barrier also in the way, and Phaetrix though gonna be into the field, and we'll see if this can amplify any kind of damage though. Easy clap in Erlix, able to take advantage and able to get those takedowns. There we go with the freeze onto the Reinhardt after the Graviton Surge, and basically GameStonks really allowing themselves to get some free shots yet again. But suddenly Cres on DPS staying alive with the eye field, and Fear of God getting the takedowns. Here we go though with the Blizzard into play, and GameStonks is desperate to stay alive here. They're turning it around with that control, they're turning it around but making a circle inside that circle, and apparently the deep freeze is the way to go. Castle Dogs will be able to document their defense, and now GameStonks will hold on again.
You know, it's really entertaining how you see both of these teams are sort of like evenly matched. As one, you know, as one window comes out, the other window comes out. As one wall comes in, the another wall comes in. As one grab pops in, another grab pops in. So they have the same idea, and it's just a matter of here who gets an advantage, who gets the positioning right, and who gets that first, who gets the first initiative to actually, you know, do something about all of this.
Yeah, whoever gets that first strike really has to be the one taking advantage. But Erlix dropping on down. Riptire is the way to go, and you can really see this thing trying to go around and around. Doesn't get anything though as Sherman finds it, but still kills bound for GameStonks as overtime is taking on down. Control yet again being taken by the Junkrat. Desperate times here for Nabbit, trying to just get at least a little bit more, but no, GameStonks right now, you gotta invest in these guys because map number 1 is theirs for the taking.
Oh, so proving me wrong a little bit there since my bet was on Cres on DPS for that map, but GameStonks really proving their power, really proving just how strong they are on this entire tournament. I mean, just goes to show how strong really they are.
Yeah, exactly. And it is GameStonks, that flexibility and the way that they can overpower you time and time again is just the easiest ways to go about it. Even though we saw Cres on DPS get some really good defensive anchors with that Symmetra, when they lose that point, it does become a difficult endeavor instead. It really just goes to show now. For GameStonks, they're playing patiently. They know what to do. They know what their win condition is. They know how to take advantage of any kind of staggers. And from that point on, it was their victory for the taking. But that Junkrat at that last round there on Control Center, crazy stuff from Erlix, just making the shots happen, making the hits happen time and time again. And it really goes to show this GameStonks team, they do want to avenge their loss against Cres on DPS this time in the grand finals. The last time these two teams have met was in the second group stage in the same group, and it was a victory for Cres on DPS 2-1. So a good start here for GameStonks, and we'll see if we can continue on with this one. Hello, Mika. Welcome back. And what a game that was, though. It was just Junkrat in the end.
Absolutely. And you know what? Erlix just really knew how to hold on to that Riptire until the exact moment. I mean, didn't give in to the pressure of like trying to get everybody when they're all like, you know, clumped in this juicy. You know, any Junkrat player would know like, oh, okay, oh man, a massive group over here. What a nice position for that Riptire. But he knew exactly when to play it, knew exactly how to use it as a, you know, as a zoning tool. And I do think that GameStonks starting out very, very strong on this first map. We're gonna see though if they can take the next one.
Yeah, it's just all about the momentum because this is a very long series, guys. Best of 7 is no joke, and it will be a test of fatigue. It'll be a test of endurance coming into all of the remaining maps. But I gotta give it to GameStonks. I also like how they really focused on the Reinhardt during Graviton Surges. They're like, okay, if we freeze this guy, if we find a way to take him down, there's no shield anymore. That'll allow us to get some more damage done. And from that point on, you can really see the focus of GameStonks was completely on point. They are here to win. They are here to show up and become the inaugural champion of the PAC. So I'm very excited to see what else they can bring to the table, because we all know that they're willing to run anything and anything as much as possible. But Wisecrest on DPS, these guys have believed, and I believe in them to give us even more of a good fight. Now we're going to be checking out our second map in just a bit. I do believe that is the hybrid type. So Mika, what a surprise. What's our next map?
Kings Row. And you know what? This is a map that both teams have, shown incredible dominance in this map, and they do have, both teams run the Rein Zarya very, very well. So I believe that we're gonna see a lot of brawly action over here in Kings Row.
El Clasico, basically, of Overwatch by this point. I take a nap and someone asks me while I'm like unconscious, what's the one thing you can say about Overwatch? I just say Kings Row. That's it. Unconsciously, Kings Row.
Hey, a favorite map of mine as well. It's a great place to be. I would say, if you would know this, you would know this. I mean, my team developed very well in Kings Row.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. I remember just how the evolution of Team Overwine was on a map like this. And Kings Row, basically any kind of scrim, you want to be playing this map, any kind of tournament, you want to be seeing this map. And of course, for these two teams, this will just be basically a homecoming yet again. GameStonks, though, is up by 1 right now against Cres on DPS. In a best of 7, how many wins do you need? 1, 2, 3. What's the number after 3, Mika?
I don't know. Can you let me know?
Well, it is going to be 4, and we'll be there in just about 4 seconds. It's time now to get into our second map. Kings Row is the way to go, and here we are for our hybrid map type. Looks like, though, GameStonks will be defending first. Cres on DPS going to be on the attack instead. And guys, please remember that this is not a best of 5 only. This is a best of 7. We're going to be looking to amend that overlay later on, but here we are. Kings Row, the place to be, Mika.
I was shaking my head at that segue that you did, and I couldn't believe that you do that. But I'm now shaking my head at this, in amusement, at the Bastion. At the Bastion over here from Claire. Ah, yes. And of course, we have Cres on DPS doing their, pre-game ritual over here, doing their summoning circle.
I think they're
I
praying
do
to the
enjoy
mercy
this.
gods. All of the mercy mains in the world, all of those e-girls, they need the power. Cres on DPS just trying to get a little bit of that. I'd say that's gamer fuel.
It's
Or maybe
a
some
morale
bathwater.
boost. Yeah.
Morale boost.
I would join that circle. It's,
Maybe.
yeah.
If you could change the hero in the middle, I'll join that circle too. But hey, it's time for us to get into our next game. GameStonks will be defending, as we said, and it seems like it will be the Echo Ash with the Ryan Sigma Merciana to wrap it up. Cres on DPS, though, looking to go for the brawl. May Reaper with a Lucian there to boot, and immediately speed boosting through to the hotel. But here comes Airlix. Good dynamite there to get the pop immediately. 22% for that one ability. GameStonks trying to play a bit of that macro game, and things working out a lot better for them as Cres on DPS decides to play that second point, decides to go around and try to take that high ground away from GameStonks.
Cres and DPS taking the long way around. I do think Fear of God managed to sneak in somewhere there. Okay, he's back with the team over there, but he did divide the attention just a little bit. He did make Lollytron second guess his positioning on that high ground.
There we go, though, with a bit of that invasion. It's a long way around, but it gets the job done. And GameStonks now have to brawl down below instead. I feel immediately set on up, but GameStonks taking advantage of that early ability and deciding to back on her way to the other side of the point instead. Castadox now find Adralis. Good takedown there. Fear of God, though, to the high ground. Looking to brawl against the Echo, and it's going to be very dangerous for both DPS. Decide to disengage instead. Billville also with a kill on Charmaine. And GameStonks, even though they have been dislodged, they will not be broken. Cres on DPS have to back out now. And oh my god, what a shot from Earlix. He also has Bob available.
Is right. They do have that, our favorite top 500 JM player, Bob, available already. And they do have that Shatter up as well. Now, the thing is, Cres and DPS, they have this amazing unity. I mean, they can go all over Kings Row and still, be together as one. But the problem is that GameStonks right now, they do have this, amazing control over the point because they do have the Echo flying around and they do have the Ashe in the back line too. So the question is, how can this, immovable force, so to say, crash into this, well spread out team? You are one unit, but you do have GameStonks over here in one area and the other area and the other area. How are you going to get to all of them at once?
Yeah, they know exactly where to position, and they're moving on around perfectly with the comp they have. Cres on DPS now trying to take that high ground away. A little bit of a fumble there a while ago mid-transition, but Fear of God ain't fumbling anymore because that will be a kill onto Earlix there. Res does come off, but Claire finding Filial now, and here we go now with the sound barrier for the attacking side. They're saying this is our point to take. Bob though trying to go for a last stab, but he does get frozen. Huge Graviton Plus though from Easy Clap right now to get the catch on, but it doesn't lead to a kill till the takedown on Fear of God. Two things though have been taking. GameStonks trying to defend a little bit more. Easy Clap gonna be out to the corner, and here comes Filial, hits the shatter onto 2. It's quickening, and it will just be a big hit here for GameStonks. They will defend at the very last moment. What a retake now from the defensive side.
Amazing, amazing sustain by GameStonks. I mean, we did see that Casadogs was just like barely flying around, just making sure, just holding enough time for the rest of the team to come on back. And, you know, we did really see, like, he was really waiting for Fivel to come in with that shatter. And it did work. Casadogs here just really, you know, really sustaining for the team, just, you know, making sure that everybody is there and providing the space needed for that.
A quick little speed boost though into the Graviton Surge, and Fivel will go down to the hand of Nabit. Good setup immediately from Cres on DPS, but another bomb into play. Earlix just getting them so quickly, and it seems like help is just always on the way for the team of GameStonks. Casadogs though now out of that duplication mode, and JPix's will fall. Easy Clap also gonna get caught out there on the ground, and this is an opportunity now for Cres on DPS. They have weathered the storm, they have taken the ultimates in full force, and now they are just gonna get rewarded, but with their, let's say, stabilizing power, with the amount of power they had on that point, and they will get the objective captured.
Fear of God here has the Death Blossom available, but we do have Easy Clap's Flux coming on in as well. Oh, okay. Firewell getting staggered there. We'll have to wait for him to come back in order to defend properly.
Yeah. Cres on DPS, they're actually hammering away at Firewell quite a while. He is just falling time and time again, getting caught out at the very start of these fights. And it really goes to show that there is that target prioritization being taken by the attacking side. Earlix though now flying on around again. Farah this time for him. And double flyer is the way to go. Apparently, the streets of London gonna be bombarded by the rockets, gonna be bombarded by those echo bombs. But in this case, it's GameStonks bombarding as much as possible. And now, what else is gonna be good in the air? It will be that Gravitic Flux. That's Easy Clap getting a good catch. And that's the I feel they'll be forced out though. And here comes Blizzard right now, and the sound barrier. Cres on DPS really initiating and engaging with the shields and the freeze. This is all about them on the ground. Can they actually continue this one? Earlix says no. Rocket Barrage gonna be into play. It will be 2 down for the Farah. And things looking good here for GameStonks so far, as the mop-up crew is there to wrap up this fight.
I do like about GameStonks. They know their win condition, so they know when to hold back, and they know exactly when to hang back and just wait for the right moment, like this barrage over here by Earlix. They knew that was coming on, and they just had to give him enough space for that. And, you know, overall, they did win this, even though we had Cres and DPS pushing, you know, a long distance away. They do have this point, and they're now in a better position to actually defend.
Timing is everything, and it really goes to show that the amount of time GameStonks can buy from themselves, really impressive to say the least. Earlix though has fallen, and he moves over to the McCree after seeing that it will be a McCree. So 76 double hits at composition for Cres on DPS. High ground being taken again, a lot of altitude adjustments being done by the attacking side, and they are going to be contesting over to the high ground, and eventually there's the drop down. Shatter though doesn't get much there from Charmaine. Will we see more? Casadogs in the meantime turning into the Zarya, basically looking to control the battle with a Graviton Surge of his own. But Easy Clap right now shutting out that eye field. There we go with the Bio Grenade, and Claire will fall. Habit has dead as well. And here we go with the Hammer Swings right now. Pivotal dueling against Charmaine. There's the mop again for GameStonks. And one more time flexing their muscles and making sure that this is their payload to hold.
I'm not a fan of that rotation onto the high ground on that part, just because, you know, it's such a small area, and you did have the McCree, you did have the Farah earlier, and the Echo Bombs, and it feels like you're just baiting everybody to just destroy your shield right then and there. I mean, like, and there's only one way in, and all those rockets are definitely just gonna go straight for that shield and break it.
Oh, but the Flux is huge, and the Deadeye is there. Combo nations here for Team GameStonks, and they are just taking the streets by storm. The defense will hold halfway through the map is all Cres on DPS can take. GameStonks with the swaps, GameStonks with the holds, and time is of their essence, wherein they're able to hold the line and be able to drain the time bank of the attacking side.
I think GameStonks, has sort of like caught on to Wisecrest on DPS because they do know that this team moves as a unit, and they know then that in order to defeat them, in order to tear them apart, they have to do that. They exactly have to do that. They have to tear this team apart, and that's what they were doing on that second point. With the double flyers and everything, they were dividing the attention, they were dividing the focus, causing chaos in the backline, side, everywhere. And once they do that, Wisecrest and DPS suddenly doesn't know where to go exactly, or they have different ideas on where to go, and suddenly that unity is broken.
Yeah, and sometimes when you have a family, but then they can't see eye to eye, then unfortunately things do fall apart. And
Wow,
you can
that's
really
heavy.
see that.
That is very heavy.
I'm not taking, my own experiences or anything. We're all good. Where everything is fine and dandy. But it really was just that instance that we saw when they took the distillery right on the high ground. But then a drop down there by the Reinhardt. Everyone else a little bit desync, couldn't really get the sightlines that they would like. And the thing is, natural cover there for the Echo and even the Pharah on the second point of King's Row using the buildings as cover. So this time, Wisecrest on DPS, what they would like would be to hold on to that first point as much as possible. But here we go with the Pharah from Earlix. Cassidox was thinking to play that Widowmaker, but no sir. Over to the Soldier 76 instead. It's time for bombardment. It's time to make it rain from above again. And we'll see if Earlix can get value, but no, fear of God. It's just gonna be that McCrean hand gets that takedown. Wisecrest on DPS. Gonna be looking to play with the Echo also on this defensive. And Cassidox right now quite low, but the Wrecking Ball of Ampha cannot get much done.
And we can see Fear of God already just nearly has that high noon up. I mean, by the end of this clash, he probably will have it up, which is really, really crucial. I mean, he is definitely popping off right now. Already getting 2 kills onto the Pharah.
Big buy grenade though gonna be into play, and GameStonks will just use this opportunity to push their way to victory. Even though Claire does get rid of Lolitron, Cassidox has found Nabbit in response. Good resurrection though from Adrealis to keep Diana up into the fight, and now Earlix catching out Fear of God instead. But these are trades happening into this fight, and Wisecrest on DPS getting the numbers advantage that they would like. All about bombardment yet again. The Wrecking Ball now disengaging. The good hold here for the defensive line. You can really see that the back line basically untouched to lethality. They do stay alive a little bit longer. Adrealis though will fall as I say that. Claire down with counter out the easy clap. And it seems like now the plan for GameStonks is to pick apart Wisecrest on DPS one by one and force a stagger that they cannot hold.
Miss Wisecrest and DPS are playing this really smartly and positioning themselves, in really, really clever areas. So it's just a matter of time before, I guess, Fear of God pops up on that high noon. And there it is, as we just said, taking off Cassidox. But at the same time, Earlix has this barrage coming in right now and takes 2 down.
Perfect timing there with the barrage, even though that was the electric cowboy there between Nabbit and Fear of God. It still is going to be done, but Barbet, those rockets making it rain. Now then, capture points gonna be basically, I'd say, postponed here for GameStonks. They are trying to get back to the objective. Easy clap right now with that pile driver getting grouped around by Ampha. And a good catch there by Wisecrest on DPS. After that first tick, they were able to force that fight off the point to the area we're in. It leads to the second objective instead, but GameStonks couldn't actually keep anyone in position to try and get the capture on, and they only get 1 tick for all of their services rendered so far.
Easy clap switching on over to the monkey instead of the ball, trading that in. And I do think because he is trying to chase after Nabbit and possibly Fear of God, who he knows is probably positioning somewhere because he does have that high noon up once again.
Tapping Visor though gonna be in hand, and here we go with Cassidox even finding Adrealis there. Still kills happening here for GameStonks. Claire turning into the Soldier 76, but no one can beat the aimbot, and Cassidox is just pointing and clicking to get that victory. Now the Wrecking Ball trying to stay on away. Can Ampha survive though? Goes for the shield, so close to the mines, but so little time and so little HP. GameStonks gonna have 3.5 minutes right now to try and get that capture, and a little bit of replay here. Tactical Visor, all skill whatsoever, just gonna be throwing it down. Caution to win, but this recoil control from Cassidox at the tail end leads him to get that kill on the hamster ball. And now here comes GameStonks pushing forward and pushing to the second objective.
It was all over once those 2 supports went down because of that visor. I mean, Cassidox knew exactly where to go, and just basically press Q to win that fight.
Welcome to Overwatch, Mika. I'm glad you're having a good time here. Beautiful boop, though. What happened there? GameStonks actually getting the hit onto Alpha, popping those mines. But unfortunately, into the front line, they're just getting torn apart. Seems like though Phil will instant shatter at the very end. Didn't really need to do that because everyone else on his team was dead. But the good hold here for Cres on DPS. A bit of that attention to the back line and a bit of that win in the front.
Oh, I do think that shatter is going to hurt them. I mean, spending that shatter is going to hurt them because right now they only have that high noon up available for them, but so does Fear of God. And it looks like Cres and DPS is just doing a lot better on their ult economy.
Yeah, 3 ultimates available for them, but GameStonks, all they need to do right now is just hold that W key, just hold that M1 key, and find ways to just chip away at the opposition with a Tesla cannon and that hammer. Earlix, though, finding his aim, finding his group, and looking for the kill onto the Mercy with a Deadeye, but doesn't get it. Instead, though, it's GameStonks now with a 1-man advantage, and they're trying to clear this corner, but Charmaine still gonna be the main force to be reckoned with, holding on to those lines. Now the Nano is gonna be into play, give it to the Zarya, and we'll see what this energy beam can do. 100 energy to his name, basically, and Charmaine right now trying to keep alive and more. Fire Strike, though, gonna be out in front, taken by the Zarya. And with 96% to that ultimate, scratch that, it's Graviton Surge available. It's only a matter of time to see this laser beam really pop, and Charmaine is gonna be backing on out, waiting for the perfect time. This might be it, though. Nano Winston into play here for GameStonks. Easy clap in the front line now. Trying to get that Brown Mage, and he's very, very low HP already. Can he survive? That will be the question. Rally now gonna get popped here by J Pixis. Cassidox even finding Fear of God there, and this is just a big nudge now being taken by GameStonks. Will we see Cres on DPS holding the line with this duplicated Reinhardt? They're trying to stay alive. Charge, though, doesn't get too much there, does get stunned up instead. But Charmaine still bringing in the brawl, bringing in the damage, unleashing the surge, and it seems like the defense gonna hold on, albeit barely.
It is now down to the wire for GameStonks, and it feels like they overcommitted a little bit because they only have the high noon up right now. And it seems like Cres, actually, I think everybody is kind of like overcommitted at that point because it was getting quite desperate. They do have one more clash though, and I do wonder which way it's going to go. Cres and DPS do have that nano available, so I think right now it's in their favor. But GameStonks right now, I mean, when they have to hit hard, when push comes to shove, they will most definitely.
Can't really just count them out anytime, that's for sure. And Cres on DPS gonna be holding the line here by the second objective as much as possible. The point right beside them. This is gonna be very, very close for both sides. And Easy Clap falling that early will hurt GameStonks and their push. It's 6v5 for now. And here we go with the Nano Boost and even the Valkyrie. Charmaine, all the thrust of his team gonna be put onto him. And we'll see what he can do. But Deadeye being primed by Earlix, and that's the Snabbit getting caught out there. 5v5 for now. Resurrection, though, will be into play. And Drelis finding the time to bring one back to life. Alpha even with the pile driver on the field wheel, and the high ground is what Fear of God wants to take. It's all about the shots right now. It's also the duplicate over to that Reaper, and Claire is tearing up house one by one. Death Blossom right now to bringing a Dance of Doom to the opposition. GameStonks this time. It might be time to cash out for them because Cres on DPS finding the kills that they need. But Cassidox refuses to lose. J-Fix is right beside him there onto the right-hand side, and the rally gonna get popped to add in the armor. There's still the contest. There's still the fight here from GameStonks, but a huge concussive shot there from Fear of God. What a timing with that flashback. Gets the stun onto many, but it's still gonna be GameStonks in position to try and fight. This is just gonna be the engagement, keeping on, keeping on. Alpha, though, over to that payload and more. There's the push, though. Don't want to C9 that one, but that's a huge shatter onto the Mercy +1. The Diva gonna get stunned up as well. Nanoboost now gonna be into play. Navit, though, with kill on the Cassidox, but Easy Clap answers back. Resurrection, though, yet again for free, and these is really the emergency piece here for Adraelis, piling up one by one, finding ways to get the resurrection, giving the numbers to Cres on DPS again, and I think that will just be the defining factor of this fight to give Cres on DPS a map win.
Longest overtime ever, or was that the longest overtime ever? I mean, that was incredibly intense, and I just really have to give it to Adraelis over there. I mean, just really sustaining the team, and that resurrection was just so crucial to that last few seconds. So not even few seconds, it was overtime.
It's just the res. It's like free res here, free res there. Get your medical bills, get everyone you know and more. Because if they want an operation, Dr. Mercy is there to keep you alive. That's unfortunate for GameStonks. Didn't have the opportunity at all to punish those resurrections. They finally got the shatter to hit on the Mercy, but no dice, couldn't really count on that one. And in the end, it was just numbers on the defense, piling on, getting the advantage. And you could really see the difference being done by the support line there.
Absolutely. It was really the support line because that Ana grenade also told that Ryan to back off, and that's why he couldn't really capitalize on the shatter as well because he was, because he was purple and he did have to back off. And I do believe that we are going back into our analyst desk to break down really what happened, what went on in those first two maps.
Yeah, I think so too. But before that, I do believe we'll be going on a bit of a break because this has been some intense action so far, ladies and gentlemen. And GameStonks and Cres on DPS, that momentum, you need to channel that for more of those maps. Make sure everything is fine and dandy, and we'll be giving them a little bit of that breather there. So we'll be right back in just a bit, guys. Stay tuned, stick around. This is the grand finals of PACommunity Tournament Beta right here, right now, between GameStonks and Cres on DPS.
So welcome back, y'all. The two past maps here has been a brawl. It was so close here between GameStonks and Cres and DPS, but end up on the first map here, Lijiang Tower, it was for GameStonks' favor here, and we all thought that it was going to be all the GameStonks here, but instead, for the second map, King's Row, it was just so close here. GameStonks almost just take the 2W here, but instead, Cres DPS just finished up the game, and the second game belongs to Cres and DPS here. So, well, we're going here for analysis, like, what's wrong with Cres DPS? How did Cres and DPS let GameStonks lose the game in Lijiang Tower? And why they, like, almost just lost here on a King's Row here? Alright, so let's see. Obuto's here. Alright, I'm gonna start off with you. What's your prediction correct?
It's kind of flip-flop, I think. I thought like Cres on DPS gonna win Lijiang Tower, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Did they say that?
Yeah,
but I think like why Cres on DPS is they play pretty well in Lijiang Tower, but they lost. They lack of discipline in Lijiang Tower. Because of that, they lost Lijiang Tower. Yeah.
So Mika also said that she thought Cres and DPS is gonna win in Lijiang Tower, but instead it's GameStonks. And for second map here, it turns out Cres and DPS just won over GameStonks in King's Row. So what about you, Ayako? What's your prediction correct?
Well, I call GameStonks winning Lijiang Tower 2-1. So, well, because my prediction still stands, as in like as you can see, GameStonks is more of a spontaneous, crazy kind of team. So when it went down to like control map, like it's usually whoever goes first, whoever kills first, and then they just steamroll from there. So, but for King's Row, however, GameStonks felt really sloppy, especially in the overtime fight when Cassadox, I think the Reaper had out, but was instantly like taken out the moment he pressed Q. So it was there where why is Cres, which is a more disciplined, more organized kind of team, they would be able to like clutch the overtime so well. Yeah, so going down for the next maps, I think my prediction is still 4-3. I think 4-3.
So Ayako still confident that it's going to be GameStone in favor. But Ayako here, I want to ask you. So what's wrong with White Skirts and DPS? So White Skirts and DPS lost the first map here in Legion Tower, and they almost lost to GameStonks here in Kings Row. So what do you think? Like what's going on with GameStone? White Skirts and DPS here? Like what's going on?
I feel that Wise Crest is more of like a team play kind of oriented team. So when it comes down to play against a team like GameStonks who has like really flashy players, like we see GameStonks McCree I think popping off on Lijiang Tower. So I feel that Wise Crest needs to be more like aggressive. They have to set the pace right for their own like fights and stuff. Because a lot of times I see them, they're like just reacting to what's being thrown at them. So yeah, I think Wise Crest is being a little bit too passive. Yeah, I feel.
All right. Do you agree, Obito? Do you agree with Akayo or Ayako, or do you have like different opinions here?
I think in Legion Tower, like especially in Garden, I feel like the reason why McCree from GameStone pop up because the two player from White Cres on DPS, they're like out of position. Like I remember it's Lucio and Echo, and after that, like the whole team is fall apart because of that. So I feel like that's why I told you it's about discipline. If they didn't out of position and they play together as a 6 player and push their like GameStone tank, I think they're gonna win that map like in Garden. Yeah.
All right. So it's all about discipline, right? So if you're out of position, then it's all about loss. So
Yeah, because it's Symmetra comp, right? So I think the Symmetra comp is about discipline. They need to play together.
You're absolutely right, Oputos here. All right. So speaking of White Skirts and TPS here, let's talk about GameStonks here. All right. So Oputo, do you have like any of your opinion or comments? What should GameStonks do to improve themselves? You can see that in the second game they just choked on the overtime, and well, they lost to White Skirts and TPS here. So what do you think, Oputo?
I think they need to slow down a bit, like take a deep breath, think about how they're gonna play. Because I feel like they're rushing things too much, and it doesn't work. I think they need to slow down and think what is the problem, what they need to focus first, and then do it. Not just like keep going, and then like lose so many team fights because of that. Yeah.
Right. So well, what do you think, Ayako?
Yeah, I actually agree. Like GameStonks has to like chill.
Yeah, they chill.
Yeah, like cause a bull is gonna run into the wall if you're not gonna like look at where you're going. So like GameStonks is crazy, they're just always going all in. But if they don't like set a goal or like set a target or like know how they're gonna play out, they're just gonna be crashing into each other. And yeah, so that's where his Cres stands out more on the discipline side. So I think GameStonks should take a chill pill. Just play it slow. He still can be crazy and flashy, but like not just like randomly going in and stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, I definitely do agree with you two here. Like every time I see a GameStone is pushing, they don't hesitate first. They just go all in. Like, wow. But well, I mean, anything can happen here. Hopefully, we'll see some improvement from GameStone side, and we also see also an improvement from White Skirts and TPS side here. All right, so why not let's just make another predictions for next 3 maps here. So Ayako, what do you think? Which teams will get an upper hand say it is these next 3 maps here?
I think for the next 3 maps, you'll probably still see a lot of close fights coming up from both teams. But I feel that it's really hard to tell, because my end prediction is still a 4-3. tiebreaker. So I think I'm still gonna stay with GameStonks. GameStonks probably gonna get like a 1-game lead in the next 3 games. So probably a 3-2 maybe. I feel. So no wait, not 3-2. Yeah, probably a 3-2 actually. So yeah, that's my prediction for the next 3 maps.
All right, so well, it's a close game between these two teams. So, what do you think, Oputo? Which team will get the upper hand in these next 3 maps?
I think White Cres on DPS they're gonna win in 2CP map because I feel like 2CP map is about discipline. They need to play together. They need to play like use ultimate together. So I think White Cres on DPS are gonna win 2CP. But after that, the map like escort map is gonna be GameStonks map and control again. I think control map is gonna be GameStonks. So I think 2 map is gonna be in GameStonks and the 2CP map is gonna be for White Cres on DPS. Yeah.
All right, so we might get to see a tiebreaker here, just like Ayako said. Well, I mean, anything can happen. I mean, as long as White Cres and DPS stay in their discipline, they might be able to win the games here. But also, GameStonks here needs to like chill first, just like Ayako and Oputo said here. All right. So, well, we might see this. We're just gonna have to wait and see that in the games. But before we go in that, let's just take a 2 minutes break here before we're coming back here with casters again, with Mika and also Dax here. All right. So we'll see you guys and after the 3 maps here, analyzing all the stuff here. All right. So we'll go for 2 minutes break and we will see you guys here in the next 2 minutes. Peace out.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the PACommunity tournament made a grand final between the 2 teams we've been seeing so far, GameStonks versus White Cres on DPS. Dax and Mika here for the action yet again, and already 2 amazing maps that we've seen so far, Mika, and we'll be getting another stretch of maps here and now.
We've seen the matches are just incredibly close. These teams are, it just goes to show these teams are equally matched, and they're basically just on the same level in terms of competition, and it's really just gonna boil down to the situational stuff. I mean, who gets here first and who has this ultimate up and everything. But in terms of skills, these 2 teams I think are equally matched, and different strategies, sure, but I do think that this series could go any which way at this point.
Yeah, it seems like it. It really feels like we're getting a big contest here, and we'll be hard pressed to see one team run away with the lead over the other. But we'll find out as we get into our next map. We already had amazing games, I'd say, in Legion Tower as well as King's Row. But now we are going to be getting into our next map of the session, and Dorado is the way to go. So escort map 9 this time, no control points here. It's all about pushing that payload to the very end. And why is Cres on DPS winning out that last map? GameStonks winning the first map of this session. But what do you think? Having the advantage going into Dorado, will it be the team who can defend better, or will it be the team who finds momentum on that payload a lot more often?
Really difficult to say at this point, but you know what? Wise Cres and DPS, both teams do run that Symmetra. Wise Cres and DPS does tend to bring out the Bastion sometimes, which can be a very risky play. I mean, it's high risk, high reward. I would say. But we're gonna see. I feel like they might take a risk right now and bring out the Bastion. I don't know. Probably on that first point.
They've been risking a lot to make it this far anyway. So it really goes to show that these calculations, these things that they decide to do are pretty much on par to what they want to showcase in this tournament. But we are going to be getting into the action in just a bit, ladies and gentlemen. What kind of comps will we get though? Well, it'll be an interesting question. Will it be Bastions? Will it be that Pharah Echo? Maybe we'll see some hit scans here and there. And what kind of brawl will we expect between Wise Cres on DPS versus GameStonks? It's time for us to get into the match. It's time for us to see what these two teams can bring to the table and who can take that lead. Map number 3 now coming your way at the PACommunity Tournament Beta. And Wise Cres on DPS this time starting off on the defensive. GameStonks will be attacking this time. Map number 3 out of 7. We are ready to get even more great Overwatch games underway.
Feel like the momentum right now is most definitely still with Wise Cres on DPS. If GameStonks can't get their rhythm back and get, their heads back in the game that they played on Lijiang, they could take this. I feel like, the break did a little bit of good and everything, but I think Wise Cres and DPS are starting to catch on to how GameStonks play. And, we did say that history, when these guys did meet up before, Wise Cres and DPS actually came out on top. GameStonks right now are looking really, really good, and I would think that right now here on Dorado, they could actually break the strategy that Wisecrest and DPS had a little bit on King's Row, and they did have enough time to think about it too. So I think that GameStonks could probably get this. I don't think they're keen to make the same mistake twice.
Yeah, I think so too. They've learned already to find ways to get to the back line, find ways to stop things like the resurrection, or in this case, just break any kind of defensive fortification that Wise Cres on DPS wants to bring to the table. But now we are going to be getting into the game. GameStonks back onto that Rhino-Winston pairing between Philwheel and Easy Clap. Interesting enough though, double sniper might be the way to go between Castox and Earlix. Will they continue on with this? Is it just for opening picks? Because here we are, over to the action. Echo though and the McCree on the defensive. And then we have Winston Zarya along the way. Interesting. Can leap up, leap down, stick around wherever kind of angle they want to take. But seems like Symmetra is the answer here for GameStonks. Plus the McCree do teleport over to the high ground. And here we go again, Mika. TP antics abound.
I actually love seeing this very aggressive, very proactive Symmetra played by GameStonks, by both teams actually. And I do love all of these tactics, these big brain plays actually. I mean, to translocate your team to another team entirely, to another location entirely, it does require a lot of coordination, and GameStonks, does do this quite well, as we've seen throughout the past 2 weeks.
Come on, look, Mika, teleportation is the future. When we can finally stop using cars and walking around anywhere, then the world will be a better place.
Yeah, it'll be sim teleport. That's how we're getting places.
Yeah, you just snap and then you're all good to go. Lands all the time. But right now we are online and ready to go again, and already that payload has been pushed towards that fountain. A really good clear here by GameStonks, using that cement shot to force Wise Cres on DPS to the backside, and is making it a 1-point defense left for Wise Cres on DPS. Sleep though will connect onto Easy Clap, and Earlix looking to push on forward and catch the Zarya there off guard. Good headshot to get that kill. Now a little bit of the pot shots over to the Mercy. Doesn't really get the hits though, but eventually the Deadeye will lock on to get that takedown. And GameStonks, another great investment play with that Symmetra. They find their footing, they find their fulcrum point, and they push on forward to get the objective.
Flex just popping off over there, getting those crucial kills, using that Deadeye to zone, and this is a really clean round for GameStonks, and I just felt like they knew exactly how to play around the map, even around the payload, and it was just a steady push. You actually never saw the payload really stop and all that, in all that round.
Exactly, like 5 people went for the TP, 1 on the payload, and from that point on, it was just a pain train that refuses to stop at any station. I like this a lot from GameStonks, proving a lot of, I'd say, map knowledge coming into Dorado. They're finding really so many ways to push Wise Crest on DPS to the brink of the point and more, and just making it a one-fight scenario time and time again. But this time, the fight has been brought over to GameStonks. Wise Crest on DPS, realizing that there's only one person really on that payload, and it's just up to them to bully this person off the objective. But here comes Airlix again, that headshot, and that's gonna be another one. This McCree looking nigh unstoppable, and GameStonks enabling their hit scan to hit every single shot that he would like. Prime Rage now in the hands of Easy Clap, and it's all about the Taze, all about getting the catch onto the Echo this time, as Claire decided, okay, I'm gonna go over to duplicate that Winston. I can stall with a Prime Rage as soon as I can get it, but it will be high time now for Wise Crest on DPS to try and hold the line. GameStonks though, unleashing the Sound Barrier. The shield's gonna be helpful here to keep people alive and more. Here comes Wise Crest on DPS though, high ground being taken. Nana boosts onto the McCree, Deadeye will instantly catch that Easy Clap there. And quickly as we come, GameStonks might be forced back here, as Wise Crest on DPS investing quite a lot of ultimates and holding the line really well as Fear of God catches out Earlix at the end of the fight.
I really love how Casadox is playing the Symmetra. It is a very proactive Symmetra, but at the same time, when Irlex was stuck in quite a sticky spot over there on the church, he actually used the teleporter to divert attention away from Irlex so that Irlex could get away, because he did have that Deadeye up earlier. And he is just, a short percentage away from getting another Deadeye yet again. DPS on the side of GameStonks are really delivering this map.
Blink and you'll miss it. And right now, we'll be seeing GameStonks blink over to the other side of the map when they can. The huddle is there. They're saying, come on, team break. Let's go. Let's try to go for the push. And this is going to be scary here for Wise Crest on DPS as soon as the initiate happens. Easy Clap, though. Tip of the spear. Now with the fist. Already going for the punches. And that's going to be the Mercy. And Diana going down. Backline decimated. GameStonks says, over to the payload we go. And cleanly as they come, cleanly they will take advantage. Ampha, though, ball. Look at that angle being taken to Winston. By the Wrecking Ball, rather, going around and around that overpass. But besides that, it only has to be the Hamster getting taken down here. Alpha, though, goes for a good stall, even catching out Lolitron and J Pixis. And how the tides turn quickly. Wise Crest on DPS now having a good chance to hold the line, and they are looking for the pot shots. There we go, Fear of God with that takedown by Grenade, connecting onto Easy Clap, forcing him to run on away. And GameStonks, they had that one in the bag, but apparently there was a hole all the way on the other side, and Wise Crest on DPS takes advantage.
That was really still a smart play from GameStonks, though. They're really maximizing the use of the Symmetra teleport over here. Wise Crest on DPS, I think they're catching on a little bit, but I feel like it might be a little bit too late. They could probably change their lineup as they head into the third point, but they do have the Valkyrie and the Diva Bomb up. We're going to see if they can maximize this these two ultimates as they come in. And GameStonks, they just need just a little bit more to secure this this point.
Oh, that was so close over the
nothing
Self
much
Drop.
there.
Did you see that Self Drop? Could have actually been nudged accordingly by Shermaine, but Easy Clap getting in the way at the right place at the right time. And now GameStonks able to mitigate the advantage Wise Crest on DPS had. And Easy Clap now going to be able to get through so far. But the Winston duplicate making it simple here for Claire. Never mind. That's already the duplication gone. Deadeye though being Prime Alpha gonna fall. And the charge time there for the McCree, enabling him to insta-give that Hamster. Now it would be Echo, more like a whisper in the wind instead. And with the Diva now contesting, this should be GameStonks to take. All they need to now is clean up house and push this payload to the very end.
See, as that clash was ensuing, you actually already saw Casadox setting up that nice little gate over there. The nice little gate, just so that anybody who comes out of that gate is, bound to get zapped by all of those lovely turrets.
No way out, that's for sure. We're watching you every single time with these sentry turrets, and really those beams crossing as much as possible to slow down the opposition and bring in the damage. But GameStonks now on the inside. The Symmetra might find a little bit more value with the turrets in a more interior location just like this. Claire though in the meantime, and Adrela is still on the far Mercy, looking to commit with the Skylines. Thing is though, in the interior, Earlix might be able to get those shots. Easy Clap though, Prime Rage is primed yet again, and it's an easy 1-2-3 punch on the Fear of God. There's the hook though, as we see a road out here from Shermaine instead, looking to amplify that damage and more. But Ampha, these mines have been so on point to actually get some kills out of nowhere. The Wrecking Ball finding another takedown there. And now with Claire on the high ground, GameStonks is struggling to find their footing. They're really trying to make the push happen. There's the Reinhardt and the Lucido up in front. And Earlix with a kill onto Nabbit instead. Will this be enough though for GameStonks to get the advantage on? Fear of God with a kill onto Lolitron instead. And it's all about the stall right now as Cres on DPS holds for the time being, Mika.
Holding indeed, and you know, it just feels like GameStonks over here, they're just running out. I feel like they're running out a little bit on steam. Maybe it's time for to switch out on that Symmetra. But you know, Cres on DPS over here, they're really starting to catch on, and they are playing that sustained game, switching over to the Roadhog and the Wrecking Ball, of course, there to cause chaos as much as he can. And you're absolutely right, getting the most out of those mines. I mean, like, you know, he just scatters his mines and all of a sudden somebody dies. We weren't even sure where he was placing those things.
Yeah, just in the middle, and as we saw GameStonks unleash that sound barrier, doesn't really amount to much. Cres on DPS just really holding as much as they can. They do play the Fire Mercy to have the off angle available, and then they're running the Roadhog instead alongside the Wrecking Ball to maximize damage as much as possible. Peak potential right now between these two tanks, honestly. Unparalleled by the other side. Easy Clap instead going over to the Diva to try and contest that Pharah and get the defense matrix in the face of the opposition. But GameStonks now running out of time. Overtime gonna tick on down. Nanopus still off Claire, and the Rocket Barrage is gonna be a firework frenzy to remember. High ground though taken by Lolitron so far. Earlix and Easy Clap on the board, and apparently the big combo there from Cres on DPS not enough to hold the line. Instead, the mines have to be the defining factor. Resto comes, Claire brought back to life, and really goes to show Adriel is finding these opportunities to bring people back from the brink. But will it be enough? Because Ampha now with a Pile Driver onto J Fixes, but still these kills are working out in favor of Team GameStonks. Lolitron now with a boop onto Ampha, and for Fear of God, the only fear here is he gets nothing with that Deadeye. As I say that though, Lolitron will fall. Earlix sees the drill is flying on the round, and no one left to contest. No one else close enough for Cres on DPS. That's the capture at the very end. No time remaining, but a full cap still for Team GameStonks.
Oh, that was well played for GameStonks right there. I mean, I feel like they had a different plan going into that clash, and it didn't work out quite well because I saw Fireball like sneaking along and probably trying to use a shatter in a really, really great place. But it seems like, you know, they were outmaneuvered by Cres on DPS right until that last moment, of course, as we saw the DPS on the side of GameStonks just really popping off, getting those crucial picks, and you know, eventually taking that map.
Yeah, that's
Taking
around that half, you know, exactly. What we saw there was Cres on DPS unloading a lot for the Pharah. Rocket Barrage plus the Pocket plus the Nano Boost didn't really amount to too much there. And an easy turnaround for Team GameStonks that allow Earlix to get the angles, get the shots time and time again. We saw Fear of God try to contest and catch out the Lucio right of Lolitron at the tail end of that fight. But the thing is, they ran out of people to really contest that objective. No one close enough to touch that payload anymore. From that point on, it was GameStonks finishing up the map. This time, though, it'll be interesting because GameStonks, they took advantage of that Symmetra for the first 2 points to get a really good angle of attack and a really easy time to push that payload. This time, what will Cres on DPS do? Because I fully expect GameStonks to have more opportunities to defend right now unless a snowball really happens from the attacking side.
Well, it looks like they are going to stick with that Pharah right now, and Fear of God on the McCree. So it is going to be a Flyer plus McCree showdown over here on the DPS side. And we will have 5-bullet Easy Clap on the Ryan Sigma, and the Wrecking Ball and Roadhog on the side of Cres on DPS. So it looks like GameStonks here they are looking to brawl. They are looking to take the fight over to Cres on DPS for a more aggressive sort of defense over here, especially with the break right there.
And Claire though gonna be able to get that kill onto Failwheel, and you know, I've been thinking a lot, Mika. I'd say like if you have the Fire, you're more of a bomber, you're more like a Y-wing, right? And then when you're like the Echo, you're a fighter, and X-wing, that kind of setup. Just goes to show though that maybe Cassidox can find ways to just zoom past the Fire Mercy, maybe get an insta-give when the Pocket isn't there. But for now, it really is just bombardment working out time and time again for Cres on DPS. Immediately, the first part of the first point has been cleared. Make a wish because the Fountain is gonna be the next staging ground. Pile Driver into play. Fear of God right now with the kill of the Cassidox, and GameStonks forced to hold on to the high ground with McCree, but they're running out of people by the payload instead. Easy got forced to go for the kinetic grass. Will he stay alive? Gets top up though, almost full, and using that extra shielding for good measure. Earlix still with a kill on the Claire. Alpha right now with a counter on J Pixis. Resurrection though is the answer again for Cres on DPS, and I really have to hit home with this. these reses have been such a big add-on for Cres on DPS that GameStonks has to put in the extra effort to try and make it happen. Fear of God, though. What an angle taken by the McCree. No one expected the flashbang to connect just like that. And Earlix doesn't get the Deadeye in time. Now the blue hand side having the advantage, getting the kills that they need, pushing the opposition back. J-Fix is the way to kill out the Fear of God. And we see Easy Clap stalling for time, but now the Roadhog gets the hook. 1% left to the Whole Hog. Easy Clap not close enough to contest a little bit more. But since the corner is just littered with bodies thanks to the McCree and the Pharah, the attacking side will get the first objective.
You really saw Easy Clap just trying his best to hold the point and just trying to stall as much as he can. And we did see, you know, some of the team, I believe that was the Brigitte and Lollytron just trying to get on back, but it seems like they were kept at bay by Claire and Dreas over there with Fab Mercy.
Yeah, the Fire Mercy, it's just free. It's free healthcare. I want to be on the Cres on DPS train by this point. If I ever get sick, I know I'm gonna get resurrected immediately by Adralis every single
Their
time.
doctors take good care of them.
Doctors, at least they have that medical practice right there. J-Pixis though says, I want to have that universal health card too. Also plays that Mercy, and we'll see if either side can actually get the punish onto those resurrections anytime soon. Irelix though over the high ground. Ash is his game plan for now. Maybe a Bob. Adding that top 500 player, not really, I'd say it's against the rules, but also at the same time part of the game. But the Rock Raj, the face of the opposition, barriers cannot hold, everything will be broken. The glass ceiling has been torn apart here by Claire, and Cres on DPS now looking to capture the second point.
Earlier that GameStonks was looking to, you know, brawl a little bit more, especially since they were running that Brigitte, but it seems as the Cres on DPS are really just outmaneuvering them, especially with that Barrage. I think as we're seeing over here, you know, Erlix switching over to the Ashe and Cassadox also switching over to the Soldier probably means that they're trying to catch up to Cres on DPS as they feel like they're being outmaneuvered. But right now, I just feel like the momentum is just, you know, it's just gone way too much on the side of Cres on DPS.
Oh my god, you're so on point with that. You can really see that stagnation now for Team GameStonks because they are losing people in such bad timings. Lollytron gonna get staggered there as soon as the tank line is brought back from the spawn point. And the thing is, this payload is already near the end of the map. 4 minutes and 2 seconds on the time back of Cres on DPS. They're looking to zone with that Deadeye. Lapto on the Diva. There's the charge ready for Filial, and he gets Nana boosted up to shatter down the McCree right in front of him. Bar Strike will connect. Eventually, the Hammer swings will be there to bring in the damage. Earlix, Cassadox, Easy Clap all on the board. The Tactical Visor for the bailout. And so very close. This is now the question here. Can GameStonks hold the line as long as they can to prevent the victory, to prevent that second round for Cres on DPS? Or will it be a nudge to have that time back advantage for the attacking side?
Oh my gosh, they have to hold this point for more than 3 minutes, and you know, it's going to take a miracle. It's going to take a miracle, but GameStonks over here, they know how to play. They know how to play their win conditions over here, and as we saw earlier, they knew exactly when to dive in at that last minute, and I'm sure they were waiting for the attack visor from Cassadox as well. But right now, they don't have anything in their pocket, and Cres and DPS does have that whole hog and the mines coming in, so it is not looking good right now. I'm not sure if they can hold out the rest of these 3 minutes.
The sleep dart though will connect, but Fear of God is bringing the Fear of Man into GameStonks as that's a 2 game for the McCree to open up that payload push and give Cres on DPS the advantage that they have been looking for. A minute of time given to GameStonks just as a consolation prize because this is the time back working out in favor of the blue hand side. Cres on DPS now with 3:53 on the clock. We'll go to the second round. We go again on Dorado.
It looks like Cres and DPS just really riding on the momentum from King's Row. I mean, they seem to have unlocked like some kind of formula as they were, as they did play that map. And you know, we are seeing them in such good form right now, especially on their defense. As they, you know, we saw that they were really outmaneuvering GameStonks right there, and I feel like by the time GameStonks, you know, caught onto the plan that Cres and DPS had, you know, it was just too late. The payload was just like right around the corner, and you know, it just didn't pan out on the side of GameStonks.
Absolutely. No more room for error. That's the thing. When it's that close to the end of the map, you already know that if you mess up once, you are done for this round. And eventually, Cres on DPS able to hammer home that point and gets the advantage coming into the second round. But we're not done yet, guys, for map number 3. Still a chance for GameStonks to use this 1-minute push to go all the way. Cres on DPS might have the same case. But it does go to show also that Cres on DPS, this team, it can be considered as an underdog to some, but they really relish in trying to make these fights as close as possible and get round wins under their opponent. Will it be enough now as we are still going into map number 3 out of 7? So many more maps to go. Race to 4 to get the championship of the PACommunity tournament beta. Now then, Charmaine playing the Roadhog, trying to be cheeky. It's gonna be that hog and ball torture here for Cres on DPS. This is Wrecking Ball right now, trying to at least get a few shots here and there. Or reach a Rindo between Viviel and Easy Clap. And immediately initiation here from Ampa. Beautiful pile driver, 42% onto the Wrecking Ball's ultimate. Sleep Dart though will connect with Lolitron. There we go, the flash from right down Fear of God. Doesn't get too much, and he drops down just to die. Easy Clap with the hammer home with that takedown. GameStonks using this one pickoff to push themselves over to the high ground. And immediately GameStonks now setting on up to try and get a few more here and there. Castadox though with this Reaper holding close. Adriel is still resurrecting Fear of God, but Fearwheel catches out Nabbit. And another advantage being taken here by GameStonks as overtime gonna tick on down, Mika.
Right now, we are seeing GameStonks really knowing their strengths, and they are capitalizing heavily on their DPS right now. They are going for that heavy firepower with the McCree and the Reaper, and even with the Batiste and the Ana to help out just a little bit. And the double shield just means that they are, pretty much untouchable unless Cres and DPS can once again outmaneuver them. They do have, that ball. Oh, they are switching out. They are switching out and probably playing the same game, going for a lot of shield action, possibly protecting their DPS right now. Probably catching on to the same strategy, but right now GameStonks, I think they do have the firepower behind them to back up this.
Yeah, they also have Deal's ultimates as Spirit God decides to go for the Deadeye. A while ago, clean up courtesy of Irlix and the rest of the crew. But we'll see now if this is going to be the same case. This double shield setup, though, really helping out Cres on DPS for this high ground hold. Lolitron right now trying to top up Irlix, but the buy grenade there from above will say no. 1-for-1 trade instead. Now Claire going to be flying on the ground, duplicating the Reinhardt. It is a drop-down formation here for Cres on DPS. Buy grenade though from Lolitron. Going to be absolutely going for the heals. And meantime, Cres on DPS clean up with their buy grenade all their own as Nabbit has to have it to get that anti-heal out and about, and Cres on DPS hold the line halfway to the second point.
Oh, that was just an amazing sustain from Nabbit. But you know what, I really do have to hand it also to Irlex and Casadox, who were really, really trying. And you know what, on that side also as well, Claire, who was just, busy flanking and really, just capitalizing on those grenades from Nabbit. And, that just, in the end, that very last clash, that really just did it. That duplicate onto the Reinhardt and, the grenade
purple, right?
at the end.
Yes.
Yeah, the huge grenade at the end. That just spelled a disaster for GameStonks.
Hey, Mika, I got a question for you. Do you like the color purple?
I do love the color purple. I do
Well,
love it. I don't love it when it's on me.
Exactly. I love seeing it on the other side, but not on my team. No sustain means that you're pretty much dead, especially in a game like Overwatch where 2 supports for your team. Hello? What are you gonna do now without healing your teammate, right? Then nothing. Try to play DPS instead, I guess. But it really goes to show here for Team Cres on DPS. They found ways to actually play the clutch, and we saw it right there and right then. Now then, seems like we are back to setting sail, Mika. Are you ready to go on to the 7 seas? Never mind, apparently. We are going to get marooned here. Sky's the limit instead. Claire moves over to the Echo. They were teasing the Bastion, but they
They might
realized...
have been saving that. Maybe they're saving that.
Maybe saving the Bastion strat. I feel like, though, that they know that GameStonks is ready for it, so they're going to be playing that Echo instead, which has really brought them a lot of success so far in this run.
That's absolutely true. And as I just mentioned, Claire a while ago was just a really, really crucial part of that last clash and just really capitalizing on the duplicate. And as well as the positioning, able to flank, able to outmaneuver GameStonks. But right now, Casadox is on the Tracer, so they might be, they can probably say, "Two can play at that game. I'm going to be in your faces, in your backline, and everywhere. We'll see how far your Echo can take you."
Yeah, we'll see how these bullets can also fly as Irlix now cashes out Claire. Seems like the Echo cannot go far this time. The thing is, for GameStonks, they just want to keep this high ground alive and kicking to allow the McCree to get shot after shot. Ryan Orisa, the way to go for Filial and Easy Clap. Maybe some Halt Hammer is going to be fun. Some Halt 5 strikes also get that shatter as quickly as possible. But Double Shield is the way to go from Alpha and Charmaine. And now there's more pressure being applied by Cres on DPS. Low ground now pushing forward, trying to get through the archway here. It's high time now to set up yet again for Ampa and the rest of the crew. This is them just getting close to the fountain. Fire Grenade though, connecting on to many on the Crest on DPS side. Lolo trying to find the angle and finding the opportunity to give his team the edge. And Filial will be able to bring that hammer to get to Claire though from above. Catches out the Reinhardt instead. Fear of God right now, pot shot after pot shot. But here comes a Tracer of Castax trying to get in his space. And eventually it's 1% to that false bump. Castax with the kill on the McCree. Earlix also with the kill onto the Orisa. Good timing here so far for GameStonks to really pop up and pop down the opposition as they are holding the line. They are defending and keeping Cres on DPS at bay.
I'm glad that they switched out of that Mercy and Brig, because it just didn't seem like they were getting the most out of that support line. It seemed like, you know, they need to get up close and personal because of that break, but at the same time the Mercy couldn't exactly sustain everybody that was there, and you know, just relying heavily on, you know, getting that break. Oh my gosh. Okay, all right, goodbye break then. That is a message from Casadox over to Cres on DPS. Get off the break.
Erased from existence. And Navid, he was like a martyr there. He says, no, I will protect you, Fear of God. I'll make sure the pulse bomb is gonna get stick on you. But unfortunately for him, he wasn't in the immortality field anymore, and now the break getting stuck there, allowing GameStonks even more time to hold the line. A minute 15 left. Cres on DPS looking to try and make this push happen again. But GameStonks, they're looking very prepared for this one, Mika. Shatter and the Amp Matrix. I like the odds here of the defense so far.
Absolutely right, but they do. Cres on DPS does have a lot working for them as well. They do have the supercharger as well as the flux coming in, so they do have their tank ultimates at the ready. It's just going to be a matter of time before the flux comes in, right on cue.
Gravity is not your friend, and there's the slam on down, but that shatter will come here for Filial. Good shield though from Amp, but to keep everyone propped up. And this is Cres on DPS slowly but surely getting the push that they need. GameStonks though, this is Stain gonna get cut in half, and now Earlix and Filial will fall as well. Ampa now even catching out Easy Clap, and now it's all about the mop up crew from Cres on DPS. But I gotta give it to GameStonks. This is actually one of the best case scenarios for them. With only 25 seconds left, that should be enough time only to reach to where they need to on the map. So GameStonks and Cres on DPS have put themselves in one fight scenarios, and we'll see who win this 50-50. Someone in behind though, that'll be the question. Is there the flank? Is there gonna be an opportunity to get a pick? Castadox is wanting this Bastion, and he has to be careful. Oh, Fear of God gets the shot, and now the advantage is on Cres on DPS side.
And all they had to do was get rid of that pesky Tracer, and that Bastion could finally set up. And here they are, finally sailing on. As we mentioned, we did mention that we were going to save that Bastion, and we're finally seeing it out on play over here.
Although trying to get a catch, Deadeye is now being primed, and it will be Fear of God trying to find the target, but everyone in cover instead. Rally though gonna get popped by Nampet, and a while ago he was clutched with the Fire Grenade. Will he be enough with the armor this time? Gastel also having that pulse bomb, Earlix priming that Deadeye, and with the I feel gone, Claire might be the target, but no, the Bastion just getting Gatling gun on and getting that takedown. Shatter also gonna get blocked on up. Double shield set up now between Easy Clap and Filial, and here comes the stun connecting onto the Reinhardt, but Navid will fall along the way. Claire though still free shot after free shot in behind. Jay Pixis with his Amp Matrix out in front here, and they try to amplify the damage to catch out the Bastion, but oh no! Did Cres on DPS forget to stay on that payload? Yes, they did. GameStonks will take the third map of this set, and you know, we've seen C9s all about this tournament. We see it again at the end of Dorado.
It happens. I mean, you know, they just probably needed to, like, okay, the momentum's on our side, we'll give this a GameStonks or something, but I just felt that that could have gone to Cres on DPS. That, you know, they probably had that, you know, they were struggling a little bit, but they could have played it out. I mean, they actually were doing well on the Bastion, and you know, GameStonks was just about using all of their utilities and getting to that sticky situation where they didn't have any. So, oh my gosh, why is Cres?
Come on, you know, those are the moments where you're just like, come on, guys, come on. And I understand why Cres on DPS backing out. They have the Bastion a little off where the payload was in the first place, and they want to protect him as much as possible to allow that damage to keep coming their way. And you know, in a perfect world where they were still contesting, I would give it to them until GameStonks actually got rid of Claire there. But no, leaving that point just for a split second, really costing them that round. And it really goes to show that GameStonks did such a good job on that first point itself. They knew the win condition was to stall for time. Make it an overtime push also for their opponent, make it so drastic that it will be one fight to rule them all and one fight to bind them. And they had GameStonks binding that victory to their destiny for game number 3. I wonder if this will continue on, and I wonder what this will do to the psyche of Cres on DPS.
Absolutely. You know what? With a C9, you could be kicking yourselves, but you could look at the bright side and say that you actually were performing well. You could have gotten that. So just as long as you don't do that again, it probably should work well. To your favorite. So as we check out our map pools and as we check out which map we'll be getting next, I do wonder how Cres can recover, and if GameStonks will be seeing this as a kind of a victory. I mean, I do understand that like sometimes when Team C9s, it doesn't exactly feel like a very fulfilling victory. So I can't exactly say if they feel the momentum swinging in their favor.
Yeah. Optimism all abound. That's what you really need here. And you can really see also that GameStonks taking 2 maps to the one that Cres on DPS has taken so far. But Volskaya Industries gonna be another map in this set. And I remember last time these two teams did meet in the PACommunity tournament beta, it was in that group stage. It was this map to decide who would take it, and was Cres on DPS winning historically. Can they do it again though to force out a 2-2 scoreline? Will we see Assault go in favor of Cres on DPS, or have GameStonks found their discipline, found their footing, and found a way to win to CP? But what a close last game that was, and it really goes to show that this map, this whole matchup rather, it's been so very evenly matched as you mentioned before.
Absolutely. And yeah, it just comes down to the unpredictable, like a C9, or very situational things that just separate these teams. And I am interested to see if Cres on DPS will be bringing out that Bastion again on Volskaya. It seems a little too obvious at this point, but you never know. They did feel like celebrating that pirate ship as we saw on that last point.
Dude, I just wanted to go to the Caribbean by that point and just really enjoy seeing that Bastion. They're doing a good job to protect it, that's for sure. So they understand how to run this map. And speaking of running this map, we are going to be running into the next game. It's time for Volskaya Industries, who will create their own destiny. It's time to see who's going to get more of the advantage or more of that tiebreaker, because it's 2-1 right now in favor of GameStonks. Map number 4 out of 7. Cres on DPS, though, going to be attacking first in this set.
I think it's ultra interesting to note, because this is a best of 7 series that Cres on DPS does have. I believe they do have substitutes available. So just in case that they feel like the team needs a bit of a break or needs a bit of rotation, they do have those other players that can come in. GameStonks does not. So I feel like it is more of a test of endurance on their side compared to Cres and DPS.
Yeah, it's just them, right? It's just GameStonks. This is your roster. Good luck. Have fun. Enjoy the next 2-3 hours of gameplay here. Cres on DPS in the meantime, they can just take a little bit of a breather there and then if need be. But guys, we have been so I'd say, we've been so happy for all of the support you've given us so far. And if you want to help us more, why not, donate to the community here? Our donations are open. 100% of these proceeds will be used to fund the donation pool of our next charity event or tournament. Also, reward tiers will be announced soon. If you guys want to help out the Pacific Overwatch community, check us out at cove-fi.com for everyone in SCA. For our Thailand viewers though, our Thailand fam, check out bit.ly/Pacific Overwatch instead, so you can help out the community. It's been I'd say a regional endeavor, that's for sure. We've all been chipping in, we've all been helping. We really love the support and the outlook the community has given us so far, and we're just happy to be here at the grand finals with our 2 best teams. It's time though to get back into game number 4. This is gonna be big, because if GameStonks takes this big lead, Cres on DPS trying to equalize. Here we go, back into 2 CP and back into the action.
I am really interested to see how well these 2 teams perform on 2CP. Supposedly everybody's most hated map. I mean, I did see the panel on Overwatch 2, and even the devs said that they were, thinking twice about this and possibly trading this out for another game mode. But I do think that, a map like Volskaya definitely still has some merit, and I do think that Wisecrest and DPS and both GameStonks, they do perform exceedingly well on this map as well, on this on this type of game mode as well.
Yeah, this is gonna be them trying to prove themselves though. But yeah, you make a good point. Volskaya Industries, it's been a map that many still play if they need to. But okay, there's a quick little push in, and immediately a pause will happen at the same time. Might be someone's internet not really panning out too well for now. Welcome to the region, ladies and gentlemen. But hopefully everything is a-okay. But it does seem like Wisecrest on DPS caught napping by this point. A quick push there from GameStonks to initiate, and it's just like, we're not fighting other people, we're fighting paper, and they just push. It's so simple.
Absolutely, and these are the things that, of course, is inevitable in a community effort such as this. I mean, we are, as you mentioned, we are broadcasting from so many different regions, and our players are, definitely from all sorts of different countries. So these issues will happen. But as I understand it, we are going to give our players a little bit of time to recover and sort some things out. So we will be heading into a quick break, but when we come back, we will be resuming on Volskaya. This is Mika and Zax, and we will see you in a few minutes.
players, welcome back to PACommunity Tournament Beta Grand Final 2-1, standing between GameStonks and Cres on DPS. Dax and Mika here to bring you guys more of the action and technical issues. We got a screwdrivers, we got every little bit of duct tape we can bring to the table and more. And it seems like everything should be a-okay now for all our players involved. Always good to have duct tape though to put to your computer, Mika. It's the best way to fix things. But let's fix things over back to Volskaya Industries. And what do you think now? Obviously this is gonna be a fight going in favor of GameStonks, who will be defending first and foremost. Earlixo and Sherman actually catching a few targets here and there. Cres and DPS finding a little bit of that collateral along the way. And so it seems like no sir, no stopping whatsoever. Even though they had a few of those technical issues, Cres on DPS immediately gonna be looking to go at the station, looking to go at the A sites, and they're just happy right now to stay in of the objective AoE. Easy clap though, and Earlex finding 2 kills so far, and now GameStonks slowly but surely finding the targets that they need to pick up party position one by one. Deadeye now being primed also. Earlex finds Fear of God, and GameStonks cleaning up house with the McCree, at least on point with his shots.
You know, we were discussing earlier about how GameStonks can be a little bit more instinctive on their gameplay, and Cres and DPS can be a bit more reactive. But as we saw here, I think this is like a bit of the opposite. They kind of switched sides here. We saw Cres and DPS just charging on in, and I think, Main was probably feeling really confident with that Zarya backing him up. But I feel like, GameStonks over here just felt a little bit more like, they got everything under control. Like, they knew exactly when to come in, and we've been seeing that a lot in these, tonight and the past 2 weeks. They know exactly when they need to go in, and they know exactly when they need to fight back or when they need to hang back.
Oh, the charge though from Jermaine, gonna be catching out, so easy clap there. But the Proud Rage keeping him at a really high HP state, and Jermaine gonna be dying instead. Earlix with that takedown, high ground being taken by Fear of God. And seems like Cres on DPS able to take that high ground after GameStonks was trying to go them in, and Fear of God will take advantage. Easy clap now will fall. Earlix in the meantime with a kill onto Adrealis, and I'll love to pick off there by the McCree, but Fear of God right now instilling fear on the side of GameStonks after these pot shots are getting some good kills. Sam Barrett though has been popped by Lolatron. Deadeye now in the hands of the Red McCree, and Earlix gonna have his own Deadeye. Is it gonna be a high noon showdown between these two? Bubble gonna be in the play though, buying time. Amber though not out of line of sight at the right time, and instead Fear of God though with his own Deadeye gets a flashbang on the GameStonks to get that kill. And this might be the first take taken by Cres on DPS, but we are not done yet with this fight. This will be the Winston and the Reinhardt trying to get in position. Lolatron there to allow them to ferry themselves over to the objective, but that's the fall of Furiel. Here comes Easy Clap jumping on in and decided to disengage instead. So hard right now for GameStonks to actually set upon the point with the remaining members they have, and they should just die to the hand of the McCree and the Reinhardt to force out that second point defense instead.
GameStonks really trying hard just to stay there, stalling as much as they possibly can, but in the end, Cres and DPS was able to take that point. And you know what? I just really have to hand it to Fear of God. Nobody was stopping him. He was just in the back and just getting all of those picks right there, and he was just able to he was unstoppable. Nobody was actually really paying him any mind.
An attempt was made by Casadox, and the attempt was broken immediately. Past that point, Fear of God was just happy to stay there and be imposing. Now high ground being taken here by Ampha, grabbing the surge, trying to get the catch here on the right-hand side, and it does suck in a little bit of the opposition. But the Mortality Field will keep them alive instead. Deadeye though has been primed. Charmaine though shattering down, and Phil will gonna fall there, and you can see already such a big angle taken by Cres on DPS. It's 2 in a row here for the Reinhardt so far, over to the objective and out. Easy Clap has fallen. Earlix still with the kill onto Adrealis, but Charmaine is still looking nigh unstoppable with that hammer swinging on the way. The Reinhardt clocking anyone right in front of him. Claire also with that high ground offensive, using the mobility of the Echo for good nature. Shattered though from Filiel does get blocked up yet again. Charmaine right now just winning out the duel and more. And things look good here for Cres on DPS so far. They've proven themselves before in Volskaya Industries, and they're looking to do it again. This time they finish up the map with 2:45 on the clock. And Cres on DPS proving that this team is really one to beat map after map.
Absolutely. They were just, almost unstoppable on this map. And, they just went in with so much confidence. They knew exactly where to position themselves and how to use their skills, like, with the right timing, especially with Charmaine and Ampha on that Ryan Zarya combo. I mean, if you give the Reinhardt the confidence with a great Zarya to back you up, he is just not going to back down from everything. And I think that's what Charmaine felt.
Yeah, that's just Charmaine was so on point, and I think one thing Charmaine has been able to get over Filial this time has really been that shatter war. Filial going for those shatters, usually being blocked up by the opposition. Charmaine on the other side finding a little bit more value, especially in this map. So Wise Crest on DPS using that stun factor to their advantage, as now they will be the ones defending. Interesting enough though, GameStonks can't really count these guys out as of yet. If you expect a first point capture, you might expect a second point capture as well. Multiple rounds might be in our future in just a bit, unless Wisecrest on DPS finds the way to really hold the line. But Little Puppy saying hello to Filial, and we'll be looking to see what these little tykes can really do as we get into the next half. Ryan, Zarya, May, Lucio, Baptiste, and Reaper. All about the brawl, all about getting close. Wisecrest on DPS, they have to keep watch and have to be careful.
I do like that they have the Ashe and the McCree over here. It's a great setup for that crossfire, especially since they are defending. And trusty Deadlock gang over there, and of course Charmaine. Just on that Reinhardt. Hope he's gonna be even on point as he was earlier, even without the Zarya and Ampha switching over to the Sigma.
Is this my lore showing up here? The McCree and the Ashe able to bury the hatchet and work together on the defensive. But GameStonks, the whole plan right now is to charge on and take that high ground away from the opposition and force them to play down below and do the same thing again. All about the brawl, all about getting close. Effectively, their range has been neutered, but their strength is unmatched. It's time now to go for the push again. It's time to make this encirclement happen. And they're looking to catch that Zenyatta out. Nabbit might get caught here. This Zenyatta will be able to scurry on away at the very last moment, but it will be Filial falling first after Ampha hits that creation on point. Wisecrest on DPS right now, the power of the Sigma in their hands and more. Here comes Irlix, so freezing down Claire, and the Ashe will fall. Ice Wall right now does come on through, but Ampha still finds the target and the angle. This Sigma looking really nigh unstoppable so far, but this is the Amp Matrix from J-Pix's 2 ticks now been taken by GameStonks. Someone needs to touch in more. Can anyone from Wisecrest on DPS get in points, get onto the objective? Ampha is there alongside Nabbit. And finally, the red hand side able to defend, but GameStonks able to get 2 ticks. Really goes to show, though, that when they're on point in position, Mika, they're so very imposing with their comp.
Absolutely. And Claire is switching over to the Tracer from the Ashe. Realized that the Ashe wasn't exactly working. Not especially since even Irlix was like hunting him down. So switching over to Tracer, something a little bit more mobile. And Charmaine has that Shatter at the ready, and Nabbit has the Trance. And you know what? I do love when a Zenyatta comes in, because you can just tell that this is incredibly damage heavy right here. Just really capitalizing on that discard. Oh no!
Oh, the freeze, and this might be goodbye onto Ampha, but never mind, he stays alive, and the Flux is there to turn things around. Claire also moving over to the Tracer, finds the Baptiste instead. Ampha though, accretion on point again, and the Sigma really showing up here. This has been such a turnabout from Ampha. He's really stepping it up in this map alone, and now, the Sigma has just been nigh unstoppable. Wisecrest on DPS defending again. GameStonks now running out of time to try and force out that second point.
Absolutely, and I love the position that Wisecrest and DPS has. They've been playing this little ring around the rosy with GameStonks over here, and it just seems like this is a trap that they are setting for GameStonks, and they know exactly where to go. They know exactly how to play this map.
It's gonna be so difficult also if GameStonks decides to go over to that low ground instead first. Too much damage there from the Zen, the Bap, the McCree, plus more. Wisecrest on DPS. They do know that they have the advantage if this isn't direct combat. For now, they're trying to find ways to poke the opposition again. Claire, like a mosquito down below, buzzing on the round. Drop down though has been forced out. Graviton Surge gonna catch many, but the question is, what kind of follow-up will we get? Trance now is the answer. Immortality Field is there. Casadog spinning on around, breaks the gadget there, and Filial now with the kill on Charmaine, but Ampha still alive, still hits that rock. Both Reinhardt's now done from this equation, but Irlix is able to win out the McCree combat. Ampha though kinetic grass into play. All about the scatter shot approach here for the attacking side so far, and the Creation right now looking for a target. That's Zarya getting stunned up, but too much damage now being done. The Reaper and the McCree will say hello to everyone else, and the DPS still will bring in the picks. GameStonks finish up the first point. Can they do it to the second?
Man, Alpha was just really holding his own over there. It was like it was a 5 versus 1, and he was the only one still touching the point and holding that back, just trying to buy as much time as he possibly could for his team.
But here we go now. GameStonks trying to take a different angle, and even though Alpha has been clutch before, will it be the same case coming into this fight? Not only does Wise Cres on DPS have that Flux, they have the Shatter, they have Matrix as well as that Deadeye. High ground though taken again by GameStonks, who have the Sound Barrier and the Amp Matrix of their own, plus the Deadeye itself. But that's gonna be a Flux right now, trying to get a catch inside of that small little hut. But unfortunately, Wise Cres on DPS doesn't get value out of the ultimate. Instead, now Crossfire is a go, and GameStonks zoning out the opposition. GameStonks in the meantime contesting the point with that right form. And at the very least, trying to get the touch. Now then, what can Airlix do from above? Finds one there. Adraelis will go down. All about this high ground offensive yet again, looking at the angle and more. As Wise Cres on DPS is the one looking to be the attacker instead. But that's not the case. It's all about the blue hand side right now. Charmaine though and Fear of God find the fix that they need. Med back control now in favor of the red hand side. There's the McCree duel, and Fear of God this time will be able to get the one up. None of these sticks have been taken yet by GameStonks. And there's the cleanup from Wise Cres on DPS instead. What a turnaround though. And Mika, how did Wise Cres on DPS hold that one?
Oh my goodness, that was amazing, and I feel like Fear of God getting that pick onto Erlix was just so crucial because he was really the one that was getting all of the rest of the team down. And I believe Erlix got like 3 picks right there, and the moment he went down, it just gave an opening for Wise Cres on DPS to push on back.
The plays are real from GameStonks, but the counters and the reactions even better from Wise Cres on DPS. They've learned a lesson and more. And Phil trying to go on through, but dies immediately. Fear of God with that takedown. This has to be a restack from GameStonks immediately. They know that Reinhardt instrumental to keep them alive. And this is just going to be more time being taken away by Wise Cres on DPS. 1 minute and 12 remaining. 1 to 2 chances left here for GameStonks. You really see the Wise Cres on DPS loving that time back advantage already, but they'd like to win even more on Volskaya.
They're gonna be relying heavily on that Death Blossom and perhaps maybe the Matrix coming in for GameStonks, but Wise Cres on DPS. Check out that ult economy. They have 4 right there, and Anfa always ready with that Flux. So I would be really, really careful if I were GameStonks were coming into this next clash.
Speed and control, and now there's the catch. J-Pix is gonna get turned into a pixel there as the Adraelis will get that takedown. Alpha also breaking that immortality field, but Earlix actually catching the Baptiste in response. And now Charmaine with the counter onto his counterpart. Easy clap though with the sound barrier into play from Lolitron, allowing him to push on forward. Trance though is the answer here by Wise Cres on DPS. So it's shields versus healing, but no one dying here for the defensive side so far. Claire instead gonna catch 2. Easy clap now will get rid of Nabbit, but Claire finds the 3rd. What's the plan right now for GameStonks? They only have 10 seconds, but Earlix actually still alive here. Can anyone touch by this point? It might be Philvia looking to charge on in instead, but the Reinhardt now will be going on a suicide mission. There's the touch. Overtime will be forced out, but the hold to stand fast from Wise Cres on DPS is giving them the advantage and more. They've been seeing so many questions go in front of them, but they've been finding answer after answer every single time. But no, Casadox now with a turnaround there. Death Blossom on the 3. Isn't enough though for GameStonks to hold the line and more and force out the capture. The first pick has been taken, but the easy clap gonna get clapped right there by Charmaine. The charge of Camille will answer back, and Charmaine gonna fall Shatter right now to get the second. And another clutch situation here for GameStonks. They're staying alive after a big ultimate a while ago, and another big one now. The Baptiste gonna get caught in the corner. Navito with a kill on the Earlix. That Tracer will die, so no backline pressure anymore from the attacker side. But GameStonks still holding close, still holding together. But this is just Navit and Claire finding opportunity. Seems like life is finding a way, but this life might be over for GameStonks. Wise Cres on DPS. They had the numbers, they had the advantage, and now they tie it up after a win on Volskaya.
It was just a roller coaster of emotions right there. I mean, that was huge. That was huge on the side of GameStonks for Casadox to go in with a Death Blossom and kill, I think it was like 4 or 5 on the side of Wise Cres on DPS. And, they very nearly had it, but they just couldn't compete with the spawn advantage that Wise Cres on DPS had.
Yes. Death Blossom clutch. Charge Shatter clutch. Anything could have happened there. But you're completely correct. That spawn advantage pretty much a biggest factor of a 2 CP DPS and 2 CP defense rather. And Wise Crest on DPS, they found ways to make it a tied scoreline. Many have said that this match could be very, very close. And with a scoreline like this, with results like this, you already know that 2-2 is just the right place and the right time for it. You guys are tuning on into the grand finals of PACommunity Tournament Beta, and the fun doesn't stop whatsoever. But break it down for Mika. Any shining factors there of Volskaya that gave Wisecrest on DPS the edge for that map?
Oh, you know what? I just feel like their tank lineup was just so on point. I just felt the synergy from both Anfa and Charmaine. I feel like, this is probably their well practice on this map. And their positioning was just amazing as well. They really outmaneuvered, they really outpositioned. I feel GameStonks, and GameStonks, they had some amazing plays, they had some amazing clutch moments as well, as we saw from Casadox in that last clash. But I just felt like YS Crescent DPS just managed to play out their cards just right, just in the right way.
And it does feel like on 2 CP, they find ways to defend, they find ways to stick with each other. And you gotta give it to that Sigma. The clutch has been from point A to point B memorable. But now, let's check out our next map, guys. We've done with 4. We still got 3 more to go. So we are gonna be moving on to Busan next in this list. So we got a bit of an update. Our map will be now, from this point on, Control, Hybrid, and Escort. So Busan will be next, but first, we'll be going into a bit of break. Stay tuned, guys, for more of the action here from PACommunity Tournament Beta. This is the grand final, and we'll be right back in just a bit. So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we are just gonna be waiting on to get into the game. A little bit of a sneak peek into the lobby there, but we are back. Dax and Mika here, enjoying the game so far. Predictions may have been a little bit broken so far on our side, but hey, it does feel like that this game is going down to the wire, and we wouldn't have it any other way, Mika.
Absolutely. I mean, talk about grand final over here for these two teams. We keep saying that they're pretty much evenly matched, and we've been seeing that in the past maps. Score is now 2-2, and the momentum just keeps swinging one way and to GameStonks and then to Cres on DPS, and I can say that going into Busan, I really don't know who could possibly take this map because it just seems like every prediction that we make is broken.
Yeah, the predictions are aside, but Alice, they've really been smart about things, and they've been pretty on point so far. But we are getting to the point, and we are getting to Busan. Map number 5 coming our way. Control is the way to go indeed, and Mecha Base seems to be the starting point of a map like this. But from what I remember, it was GameStonks who won Lijiang Tower a while ago, right, Mika? So maybe, since we're going back into Control, they might have the advantage in these brawls.
Possibly. I mean, I do actually love this map so much just because it plays so differently from the other Control maps, where it's like it encourages you to take the fight out of the point. So like I feel like GameStonks did win on Lijiang, but possibly Cres and DPS could take this map as well. They will. Here we go again. They both teams are bringing out the Symmetra plays, which worked so well on Lijiang.
But it might just be a TP here for Claire. Yes, it is. Moves over to the Echo. Castledogs doing the same thing. A little unfortunate. The Symmetras have been fun to see, as Mika has mentioned.
I'm
fun.
a fan of them. I'm a fan of them playing the Symmetra.
I love the Sim too. It's fun to play those turrets, but we know it's not going to be fun at all. Alpha getting stuck there thanks to the Mei. The Mei Reaper comp right now for GameStonks, all about getting in the face of Cres on DPS. And the high ground now being taken by the red hand side, but they just have to retreat instead, as GameStonks now is pushing even closer and closer to the opposition. Alpha though bowling on in. Pod Driver gonna catch many yet again. Immortality field forced out immediately, and Cres on DPS finds the move, finds the kills that they need, and this is just worthwhile here to the red hand side. Did you just see Alpha bowl on in? He decided to go for the 7-10 split, and he found the targets, found the kills. 77% for the Wrecking Ball, 81 for the Reinhardt, and the point taken here by Cres on DPS.
That was pretty much a strike for Anfa as he charged on in and, managed to get, that amazing control over GameStonks, and, that just really spelled the end of them for that clash. It was just the moment that came in, the moment that ball came in, they just didn't know where to look, they didn't know where to focus, and Charmaine with the stun. Oh my goodness, the rest of Cres, the rest of GameStonks just cannot stand up to the tank lineup of Anfa and Charmaine.
Anfa and Charmaine really proving themselves there, getting that momentum from Vizcaya Industries, and this time they're working hand in hand to get the kills that they need. But this has just really been a series of unfortunate events for the blue hand side right now. A while ago they got the pick onto the Wrecking Ball, but who came back to save the day was the same guy. Alpha right now might be looking for the angle again, trying to find a few environmentals if ever, and it's all about timing being everything. Look at that Wrecking Ball creeping closer and closer like a shark in the water, but this is just gonna be a bit of a push from GameStonks instead. Deadeye being primed, double stun into play. Ice block though gonna be used up here by the Mei after Elix goes for the Blizzard, and seeing icicles there. Apparently Castledogs helping out that White Witch. It's time now for GameStonks to get the cleanup on, to try to get the takedown on the Alpha at the last moment this time. And this is the chain of events that they would like a lot better. Goodbye to the 5, goodbye to the 1, and hello to the point, says GameStonks.
Oh, I feel like it was maybe a little bit of an overcommitment using both the Blizzard and the Death Blossom in there. But you know what? I don't think GameStonks has anything to worry about because, they do have both support ultimates coming in and the tank ultimates as well.
We'll see though. Oh my god, here we go with Duplicate getting charged at the last moment, but the Shatter still gonna get charged up thanks to that extra ult values, and this is just gonna be the sound barrier being popped instead by both. But in this case, GameStonks now still staying alive. Adrenaline Stove does find the Reinhardt, and Cres on DPS turning things around with the fix that they get. Fear of God though, getting 2 so far. The Baptiste right now just leaping on away. And There's the push yet again down the stairs. Charmaine with a kill on GameStonks, and Alpha even the pile driver onto J Fixes. Wise Cres on DPS back into the fold and more. And even though GameStonks held the line for quite a while, still not enough. As soon as they come, Wise Cres on DPS crosses it.
That's right, and now they are going to be relying on Fear of God to bust out that Dead Eye, maybe to zone a little bit in this next clash. But Fight Well will have that Shatter available, and Casadox with the Death Blossom as well. We've seen some amazing clutch blossoms from him in the previous maps, but right now we do have Anfa with the mines and clearing out the rest of the GameStonks.
Wise Cres on DPS. They asked themselves a specific question, but they have really been finding answers as a team. So it's been so worthwhile right now from the right-hand side. They're getting the pickouts that they need. Timing is everything. Tank line on point, support line on point, and of course, the dynamic DPS duo still answering that question. 1 round secured out of 3 here for Wise Cres on DPS for the 5th map. They've been wanting this lead, and they have the opportunity to take it here and now on Busan.
Again, I just really have to commend the tank lineup of, Cres on DPS, Anfa and Charmaine. Just, really giving their team so much space that, you don't even feel the DPS come in, because by the time the tanks have done their damage, by the time the tanks are done with you, you're already dead.
Sometimes it really feels like those juggernauts are waiting for you, but here we go again. Wise Cres on DPS now, having that advantage. GameStonks refusing to lose, refusing to give up the momentum. Teleports abound yet again from Symmetrus before we see the swaps Tracer and Echo for GameStonks and Wise Cres on DPS respectively. Zen Bapto here from the right-hand side. Seems like they do want to add in the damage and more, find ways to amplify what Fear of God and Claire can do. And I'm happy to see Ampha on that Sigma, but Easy Clap also on the Orchestra Wielder. And we'll see what these Sigmas can do to each other. Rock's gonna be flying sometime soon.
Right now, we're just gonna be seeing who is going to get that first pick as we, dance around this little drum in the middle over here. It just seems like Casadox is trying to get a good position to try and get some picks, try to get into the back line of Wise Cres on DPS.
Poking and prodding, getting the attention. There we go though with a bit of a stun on Pilviel. Airlick's also gonna get hit by a Discord Orb, but GameStonks right now just using their Tracer to slowly but surely take care of Nabbit. And this Zenyatta completely ignored right now by the rest of his team, allowing him to die so quickly. Casadox just safely from the high ground, getting the shots that he wants and more. You don't really see a Tracer like this just going for pot shots completely for free, but hey, GameStonks will take it. They'll invest in that value, and they will now get the objective.
You know what? They don't have Wise Cres on DPS doesn't really have anybody who can go into the backline of GameStonks right now. I mean, you would think that it would be the Echo. A while ago on the first map, we did see it as Anfa, sneaking on in with the Wrecking Ball and making that Wise Cres sandwich over there out of GameStonks. But right now, it just seems like Wise Cres wants to play more like a unit. But they do have to deal with Casadox, who is just, always behind, always creeping around. It's like a little, horror movie over here, just watching over your back, just waiting for the Tracer in your face. And then McCree is going to be hunting him down.
You really might scream sometime soon here, Mika, but we'll see now, as that will be the shield blocking that rock. Matrix gonna be set on up, but Pilviel will find Fear of God there. Airlick's though priming that Deadeye Shatter, now puts one to the floor, but Ampha still stays alive, and now the eye field from Adrenalis will keep them alive so far. Claire though dropping on down, turning into the Sigma. Here comes the Trance, Shatter in the hands of Charmaine, but it seems like Lolatron, Fire Grenade is the answer, and the anti-heal will put the Reinhardt in his place. Things now working out for GameStonks, they're getting the fix that they need and more. They're pushing Wise Cres on DPS back, and they're looking to hold together and hold off on Sanctuary to try and get the perfect record here. Will it be enough though in this defense? They're staggering Alpha as well. And with the Sigma gone, it's gonna be even harder now for Wise Cres and DPS to take back the fights. They are gonna be only having one last chance here, Mika.
Right, the clock is ticking on down. We are now at 80 to 83%. And it looks like this is going to be the last clash on this particular map. And Wise Cres on DPS, they really have to commit. They really have to throw it all in right now. We are probably going to see the Deadeye come in right now, as well as the Shatter coming in.
Oh, plan the hammer though, that right click bringing in the damage, but Ampha is there to get the final blow, and here comes the Flux into play from both. Gravity, no one's friend here, but eventually everyone has to go around themselves and put themselves to the floor instead. Now shots happening from Irlix and Lolitron, they get picks apiece. Fear of God though with a shutdown onto GameStonks, and here comes Drillus, even getting rid of the McCree so far. Overtime ticking on down, both sides still have a chance for this, but the Resurrection might give GameStonks the advantage. Really goes to show with the McCree back to life, that's amplified DPS. Valkyrie gonna get popped here, but GameStonks as well. But Wisecrest on DPS, they're holding together on the other side of the point. They're keeping alive, neither side committing so far, and it might be the Deadeye to turn things around. What can Fear of God actually do here? Nothing. It will be pickoffs from the blue hand side instead, and GameStonks, they say they want to dominate yet again. They want to keep up their momentum. They want to be able to keep up that lead, and this might be the Deadeye to do so, but Fear of God apparently getting to instead. Still the high ground being taken by Easy Clap, and this is his Flux to remember. He's going for the Reinhardt first for that maximum HP damage, and a spin Rooney from Ampha instead to stall for time, but will it actually pan out to anything? Ampha does get two so far. Accretion though will connect from Easy Clap, but Claire wants to go for the Reinhardt instead, and there we'll go with the takedown. The clutch factor now going in favor of Wisecrest on DPS. A while ago we saw it from GameStonks, but will it lead to Wisecrest on DPS getting this objective? It will be close. The Shatter is available, and this is just Easy Clap still on the Taiko drop, having a good time, having a good show, and having a good point of reference, but that is gonna be the full spot to get to. Claire with a big boom there, and this might be finally Wisecrest on DPS getting this objective. They're cleaning up house, and they have gotten that red banner on this drum.
You know, GameStonks, I mean, these two teams really know how to stretch an overtime. And we actually saw Easy Clap on the Sigma having quite a good time, just, you know, staying around the drum and playing around it. And for the longest time, I feel like nobody on the side of Crescent DPS could really get him off. And, you know, it just really bought a lot of time for GameStonks. But, you know, in the end, Wise Crescent DPS just really knew how to play that. And, you know, those crucial plays eventually were able to let them take the point.
Now, that's the rhythm he enjoyed, and Easy Clap making it look easy on top of the objective. But Wisecrest on DPS, they took the hard way out to actually make it to the grand finals. They took the hard route to really go for the fights here, and you can see how scrappy the red hand side is. But Philwheel finding the Lucio already. Nabbit will go down, and sometimes the habits do form up in bad ways, and Lucio a little too eager to get into the fight. Easy Clap though on the off angle, gets the accretion to connect and charges up the Flux immediately. Good lift off onto many, and slams out Charmaine for good measure. Seems like GameStonks right now looking to secure this point and force out the third round on the fifth map. Can Easy Clap find more targets? That's the question. Here comes Irlix though, taking care of the Proximites one by one. It seems like it's more of janitorial services here from the blue hand side, and Wisecrest on DPS will use that extra time to go for the sound barrier. All about the sustain, all about that shielding. Deadeye though being primed here by Irlix, and this is gonna be a 2k for him. Still though, the shatter comes from Tremaine, putting the Reinhardt to the floor. Nanoboost will turn things around, and it's easy tidings now from Lolitron and the rest of the crew. GameStonks though, holding together, holding steadfast. There we have the Tracer on the other side. Castellux though looking to give chase against Claire, and this is just gonna be that Tracer zipping on the round again. Eventually the hammer will toil, and GameStonks will force out a third round here.
No, amazing sustain from both teams as we saw them really stretching out the amount of time that they could stay on the point. But you know what? I feel like GameStonks just really were able to capitalize more on the support that their tank lineup really needed. I mean, you saw Easy Clap do a little bit of a flanking Sigma, and you know, getting that off angle for that crucial Flux to, you know, let them snowball and steamroll that last clash.
You can't go wrong with a free stun there, Mika. And I love the rock to hit to your face. The accretion on point give you a lot of ult charge for just one ability. And you're happy to just use that Flux. Perfect timing there by Easy Clap, giving GameStonks the round. But here we are, it's the decider. Teleports abound between the Symmetras yet again. Echo, Tracer. Still gonna be the cards being brought out by these two teams. And Charmaine over to the Roadhog right now with Alpha on the Zarya versus the Winston and the Wrecking Ball of Philwheel and Easy Clap. A bit of an aggressive dive here for GameStonks versus pure damage from Wisecrest on DPS. But all you need is one pick, and Charmaine will get a good start already. Goodbye to Castellux. Here comes the engagement though from the Wrecking Ball and the Winston. Bubble Shield set one up though over to the high ground. Another hook comes. Easy Clap gonna get caught. Counter abilities so it's the stun from Fear of God to really amplify that CC. And Wise Cres on DPS just going fishing, going for those kills. And this is going to be one Spearfisher to remember as Charmaine finds the pickoffs with that Roadhog.
That first crucial pick over onto Casadox. I mean, you could probably tell that he was ready, given that he was really performing all of that, dives into the backline earlier, and Charmaine probably knew exactly what he was up to, ready for him, and was just crucial. Was able to get that crucial pick onto Casadox, and as well as onto Agfa, forcing him off of the Wrecking Ball, I believe. I mean, onto Easy Clap, forcing him off of that Wrecking Ball.
Yeah, Easy Clap over to Zarya instead. They realize that Bubble's gonna be important here against the Roadhog of Charmaine's caliber. And those fishing hooks gotta be, I'd say, counteracted by those bubbles if ever. But Easy Clap gonna get popped there by Fear of God alongside the help from Flare in that fight. Irlix, though, in the meantime, shutting down the Echo. And this is gonna be a 5v5 situation where Irlix decides to go for the Deadeye instead. Alpha, though, gonna get caught. Fear of God over to the high ground, meets the Nano boosted Winston. And Philwheel has just no fear whatsoever. Wanting to push on forward, wanting to fight even more. Flashbang right now into the kill onto Adraeus. There we go with the McCree showdown again. And it really has been a good fight between Fear of God and Irlix so far, but Philwheel is there to just hit every shot that he can with Tesla Cannon. Easy tidings for the Winston. Claire already with a reset, and GameStonks has the point.
And Fuel just, jumping on in and, just zapping everybody and able to charge that ultimate really quickly. And I feel like, that partnership with Easy Clap and the bubble, the double bubble strategy as we have here, as well as the sustain coming in from the Brigitte and Diana. This is just going to make it, this is just going to make GameStonks a really, really tough cookie to break on the side of Wise Cres and DPS.
Bubble, toil and trouble. We'll see what kind of spell we can cast here, as this is gonna be the pulse bomb in the hands of Casadox so far. Can he find his timing? Can he find his opening? Apparently, though, Duplicate is the answer, though, for Claire. And here comes the Winston jumping on in. The duplicated Winston looking for that quick Primal Rage. Bullhog, though, bringing in the damage, and Charmaine with that first kill. Matrix doesn't really get too much so far. Here we go, though, with a little bit of that push. Eventually, it will be that Gravity Surge being primed up. Hook, though, does come, and he cashes out the McCree all the way on the other side, casting out that Deadeye. Wise Cres on DPS getting value here from the Roadhog, but will it be enough? The boops are coming. The bother is there from Philwheel. Alpha, in the meantime, playing near the train, so very close to getting hit by that subway. But the Gravity Surge now is the answer. 2 picks in favor of Wise Cres on DPS. Make that 3. They're holding together. They're standing up against the opposition, even though Irlix and Casadox do get the takedown. There's the recall in front of the Roadhog, and it's only a matter of time since the Tracer will get hit by the beam. Wise Cres on DPS over to the objective, and out comes GameStonks as the red-hand side will get the capture back.
Man, Charmaine is just on point with these hooks today. I mean, he has been getting, McCree's on the other side of the map and, catching Tracers in midair. And I feel like if Charmaine can keep this up and just get those crucial picks, I don't think that GameStonks is going to be able to get the, going to be able to execute the strategy that they have in mind.
Yeah, it's just so difficult from a 6v6 to a 5v6 scenario, and every pick counts here for Wise Cres on DPS. They have the rally, they have the Amp Matrix, and they're looking to stand up against GameStonks over to the high ground. Still, though, Pix is going to be quite low already. Will it be enough for the Brigade to sustain? Seems like Claire and Charmaine, though, finding the answers for Wise Cres on DPS so far, and a rally from Nabbit to add insult to injury. It's time now for that armor to pile on. Fear of God and Nabbit get the blows that they need, and this is now Wise Cres on DPS taking the lead away from GameStonks. Seems like the underdog is making a story here, and Wise Cres on DPS has the lead after Basan.
Man, you know what? Charmaine has just been on point in these past few maps, and I just feel like maybe he needed a little bit of time to warm up. Going through King's Row and Lijiang and everything. And as we got into the later maps, the tank lineup of Wise Cres and DPS is just really popping off right now. They're looking really, really scary, and they're looking like this unbreakable, like you mentioned earlier, unbreakable juggernaut that GameStonks will have to take down if they want to get this grand finals.
And everyone really stepping up for Wisecrest on DPS side. The pickoffs really, really important. That mobility. From that point on, just how the abilities were used accordingly by Wisecrest on DPS. Good angles, good timings, and a victory for the first and third rounds of Busan. But you can see from GameStonks, they're always there to fight back, taking care of business on Sanctuary, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them get another map under their belts. But guys, we'll be going for a quick little break, and of course, we'll be breaking down those last 3 games that we saw with our lovely hosts and analysts making them happen. We'll be right back, guys, for more of the grand final here, the PACommunity Tournament Beta.
Okay, so welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my god, that was so. Oh my god, I don't have a word to describe it. It was both teams. They were on par on each other, and oh my god, my heart was beating so fast, man. Like, oh my god, it was so close. I thought it was gonna be GameStonks side, but instead it flipped to Cres and DPS, which is kind of unexpected. Well, it showed that both these teams, they are really good, and they're just. Oh my god, this is like the best grand finals I've ever watched it. All right, so meanwhile here, let's just break it down like breaking, just have a deeper look into these 2 teams here. All right, so well, let's just introduce our 2 analysts here back again. Ayako and Oputo here. Say hi to ladies and gentlemen.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, so how was the last match here? All right, any opinions on that? Like, how are you feeling right now, Obuto?
It's roller coaster, I think. Like in some fight, like GameStonks already won the fight, but like Cres, he surprised us with like double shatter, and then Sherman just shatter. Like that fight have triple shatter, but I don't think we saw that. I'm not sure. Like,
right.
Yeah.
So it's a roller coaster. All right. How are you feeling right now, Ayako?
I think the Busan map was just too close.
yeah.
I've never seen a longer, the drum store, ever. I've never seen something that long. But yeah, I think both teams did really well. But Cres on DPS really stepped up their game a lot, as you can see from their play.
Yeah, I definitely gonna agree with you. There's definitely some flip around here. All right, so let's go with the first question here, Ayako. So is there any your opinion on both teams' performance? As we can mention here, like at the Woskaya Industries, it seems like both of the team play styles, they were swapped here. As the first mentioned, like White Cres and DPS, as said earlier, like they were more disciplined. But as we see here in Voskaya Industries, it seems like they swapped their GameStonks. They're more disciplined. And to the White Skirts of DPS size, they're like Shermanese was so confident with his Reinhardt as but instead the team just failed to push it. So what do you think on both team performances so far?
I think that why is Cres on DPS really stepped up the game. Like you can see that their plays are much more cleaner as compared to GameStonks. GameStonks, I feel like they're kind of panicking. Like as you see them starting to play like actual proper team comps. So you kind of can guess like they're trying to okay, we got to settle down and stuff. But then I don't know, it just feels like their team dynamic doesn't really work around that really close discipline kind of playstyle. Whereas like I think Cres on DPS, they started to be more explosive. You can see the Hog Zarya on the last map of Busan. I don't think the opponent team actually expected that. They played heroes where they play heroes that actually would probably counter double shield or to punish people that are overextending and whatnot. As you can see, like the Tracer got picked off by the Hawk so many times. So I think like they probably did a lot of discussions in between like maps and breaks. And I think if GameStonks doesn't really buck up, then they'll probably not reach a tiebreaker. Yeah.
Well, I mean, oh my god, it's so close in between these two teams there. Then what do you think, Oputo, about the performances from both teams so far?
I think GameStone have the problem about how they play and how they hold space, because I feel like they gave a lot of space to Cres on DPS too much. They not even hold choke sometimes. Like they just give them for free. So I feel like this is the main problem for GameStone. For Cres on DPS, I feel like they play more proactive right now instead of reactive. But sometimes they play reactive too much. But I feel like I love how Cres on DPS right now, because they pick Hawk to punish the DPS of GameStone. I'm not sure how to read that name, like Eric's, something like that. The back key player. Yeah,
Erelix.
I feel like he tried to carry team so many times and he out of position, so he got punished by Cres on DPS so many times. Yeah, that's what I feel right now.
All right, so let's go for the second question. Say, Oputo. So, what are the issues both team had that you noticed so far? So, let's start off with GameStonks here. So, what's the issues that GameStonks had that you noticed?
I think that they need to like take more space and learn how to use more space. Like example in Dorado, they just give high ground for White Cres on DPS for free and let them like pressure that team from high ground so many times. In Busan, I feel like they just tunnel vision. Like for example, in Mega Base, they just push without like thinking that how Cres on DPS gonna play. Like for example, I can see Ampha, he just rolling so many times on Mega Base. That's so impressive. Yeah. And White Cres on DPS, I feel like when they have advantage, they need to do something. But they play too passive sometimes when they have advantage. So I think if they improve from that, it's gonna be good for them. Yeah.
All right. So, what are you, Ayako? What are the issues both teams have?
I think both teams like to take really messy fights. Like both teams don't really clean up. There isn't a fight where you see it's predominant, like other than a fight where it's like full, out trading, double shatters and grab and whatnot. Like other than that, when it's just like normal trades, both teams are like very unstable. Each team is getting one pick here and there, and then they don't really like stabilize, or like fall back a little just to get their resources back up. So I think that both teams, yeah, they're playing slightly messy. But as you can see, like compared to like how do you say, like one team compared to another, like you can see that one team is definitely more disciplined in this in this scenario. So yeah.
All right. So, well, I mean, both teams here they do play a little bit sloppy here, but on the bright side, they're so close here, and so maybe should we expect like a tiebreaker from this? Should we expect GameStone to win after this map and then have a tiebreaker? So, Ariko, what do you think?
I think my prediction still stands. I think that it's still gonna go to 4-3. 100%.
Ah.
Knowing the I think knowing the last match is probably going to be a control. I think GameStonks will probably pull up their socks and get a 4-3. But I mean, judging by how Cres is Cres on DPS is like playing, I don't know. 4-3 could go to any other team, So I'm expecting a lot from both teams. Yeah.
All right. So, so what about you? Do you expect a tiebreaker, or like a game's White Squares and TPH just to finish the series? So, what do you think?
I think why Cres on DPS gonna win next match. I feel like they have so many confidence right now. They stop playing passive. They go in boom boom. I feel like this gonna be the winner of the game in the next map.
All right. So is a tiebreaker for Ayako, and is White Squares and DPS just 4-2 4-2 yeah. All right. So, well, really interesting from you both here. All right. So before we're going to watch it for the sixth map here, so we're just going to have a short break, and before we're coming back here, and just get some excitement back here. So we're just gonna take a look together, and we will see you guys later. Peace out.
So hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are back to the PA Community Tournament Beta Grand Final between our two teams who have really been brawling for quite a while already. GameStonks versus Cres on DPS, with Cres, of course, having that one map advantage. Dax and Mika still here, still gonna be bringing you guys more of the action. But the thing is, Mika, this can possibly be our last map of the night.
This could. YS Crest and DPS is riding on a lot of momentum right now, and you know what? I do think that our analyst desk did break this down quite well. GameStonks, it feels like they've been losing a little bit of confidence in the past maps, and as we saw in Busan as well, there were some moments wherein they didn't exactly push back or take advantage of all of the clashes that they were winning. It felt like they were holding back just a little bit, but YS Crest on DPS just really playing so aggressively, and I've been commending their tank lineup this whole night, and I feel like if they do play the way that they've been doing these past few maps, then this will be our last map of the night. But GameStonks, we'll have to see if they can recover, and if they can listen to our analyst desk and maybe play a little bit more aggressively.
Yeah, just figured things out, but here we go. Back into Hybrid and into Hollywood we will go. Yet again, guys, these two teams have actually faced off against Hollywood, in Hollywood rather, before against each other. It'll be interesting if GameStonks can actually tie it up on a map like this. With Wise Crest on DPS, they are riding high with momentum after wins on Volskaya and Bastan. Gotta say also, they might be feeling a little bit of confidence because they did C9 on Dorado, giving GameStonks that win. So they might be saying, guys, if we didn't do that, we could have won this series already. So we'll be so confident that we can bring that momentum to the table. And this might be their chance. This might be their way, their ticket to be the star of the show here in the grand finals.
Right, that C9, that memorable C9. Although they have been saying that they do play as a team, and they did mention earlier that even their stupid mistakes are made as a decision as a team. So probably that C9 was, let's just say that they planned that all out and they wanted to extend this grand finals just a little bit longer.
I see. The self-imposed handicap, but one team who can punish any kind of, if that is even remotely through. GameStonks is a team that will fight back to the end. But here we go, guys, into game number 6. Match point for Wise Crest on DPS. It's time to see who can take advantage in Hollywood. As here we go now with Wise Crest on DPS defending first. GameStonks in the meantime on the attack, fighting for their life.
Wise Cres on DPS has been giving us a preview of the Bastion all night. I don't think they're going to bring it out here, but I do wonder if we're going to be seeing finally a Widow battle coming into Hollywood. As it is, it looks like they are going for, Wise Cres on DPS is going for the good old-fashioned Deadlock Gang, and GameStonks possibly playing with a Pharah, maybe double flyers over here.
Yeah, maybe. Will we see Cassidox and Airlix decide to take flight and go soar in the skylines? Clairdo, in the meantime, moving over to the Echo instead. So McCree, Echo, Ryan, Zarya, and the Brig Bap lineup here for Wise Crest on DPS. Antha and Shermaine have really been stepping up their game time and time again with different heroes. We saw the Sigma, we saw the Roadhog getting value. Will we see the Ryan Zarya pairing work out here for the defense? Because it's time for the Sombra here and the Sigma for Team GameStonks.
Very interesting, very interesting. I do know that Cassidox did bust out this Sombra yesterday, I believe on Gibraltar. When they did get that, when they did, or was that another team? Am I getting mixed up?
No, I think trying to remember. I think we saw Sombra before, that's for sure. And we'll see this Sombra right now.
Or he could be taking, a cue from that other team as well. And we already see Cassidox in the back line doing up to no good. Up to, no good, probably hacking the health packs over here on the side of GameStonks.
Solemnly swearing to get map control here for the side of Team GameStonks, and the Airlix finding the advantage, finding the timing. Fear of God gonna go on down, and GameStonks just bombarding appropriately and getting the kills that they need so far. But Claire does zoom on in, and Bill gonna get burnt down by the focusing beam. So easy to melt the target at less than half HP. And from that point on, is this gonna be Wise Crest on DPS having the advantage? So hard to push without that Reinhardt. Airlix instead is gonna die. And the thing is, Cassidox is playing a bit of that hack playstyle. He's really unable to charge up the EMP in the manner that he would like. And for GameStonks, that might be a big win condition for them that they need to charge up as soon as possible.
Absolutely, but if Cassidox isn't getting the ult charge he needs, it could be too late by the time he decides to switch out of the Sombra. If he really is relying on that EMP to come in, it might just be a bit of a slow play on the side of GameStonks over here.
Time is of the essence, and you'd want that Sombra to have the EMP right here, right now. But Cassidox is only halfway to it. But 2 support ultimates are already here for J-Pixes and Lolitron. Seems like, though, GameStonks is sticking it around. Airlix is on this McCree right now. And they're trying to find the pot shots. They're trying to find ways to actually hammer home against the opposition. But Fear of God has gone hunting, and Cassidox will fall. Apparently, the Prey will meet the Predator, and this time the Prey will win. The Tracer right now becoming the apex Predator of this jungle. And it really feels like the stars are shining here for Fear of God. 2 in a row for the blue hand side so far. Cassidox swapping over to the Tracer to fight back against Fear of God there. But half the time has already elapsed, and Wise Crest on DPS doing such a good job at holding this point.
We see Cassidox finally switching out of the Sombra and into the Tracer instead, but I feel like too much time has gone by. They only have like a minute and a half left to be able to decide on what kind of strategy they'll be pulling as they take this first point, or as they attempt to take this first point. But you know what? I just feel like, switching out of the Sombra was just too late at that time.
But GameStonks still fighting back with that nano boosted Rhine. Even though we saw that Pulse Bomb get a kill after the Shatter, it will be the duplicate here of the Echo instead, turning to the Reinhardt, getting the stun on. And Claire gonna be zooming on around to find a few more targets here and there. But you make such a good point right now, Mika. GameStonks is running out of time, and you can really see that their tournament life is flashing before their eyes. Claire, though, gonna get hit by that sleep dart, but will still stay alive, rescued there by the Baptiste on their side. Focusing beam right now, shutting down Easy Clap, and it feels like that clap will be something to remember. Or less than a minute remaining. Cres on DPS taking advantage of the situation with Chaos and go over to the high ground. They will go. Casadoc's already quite low on the HP, and Appa bombarding with some right clicks, looking to charge up a bit more on that Graviton Surge.
Absolutely right, and I actually like the we see Fear of God switching over to the McCree, but I actually did like the Tracer and Echo duo. It just felt like the DPS was just really capitalized. They were like switching back and forth as to who would harass, you know, GameStonks. As they look over here, suddenly the Tracer's in the back and then the Echo's in their face. So I did like that tandem, but as we know, Fear of God is a very, very dangerous McCree.
And there we go, he actually catches that Casadoc's Airlix also dies before the fight even comes to a head. But Easy Clap trying to find the right blocks at the right time. Destroys Navit already. Here comes the Baptiste though, looking to go for the safety lantern. But it's still Philwheel getting the kill instead. Bubble though, right on time for the Echo. But things are falling apart here for Cres on DPS very, very quickly. GameStonks realizing they need to survive right here, right now. And they're doing the best they can. The Echo on the left-hand side. Here we go, the Pulse Bomb being primed up by Casadoc's already. Recall at the right moment to stay alive, and eventually the Echo gonna get caught. Will it be enough though? Can Cres on DPS sustain and contest even more? Not gonna work out. GameStonks instead with the kills that they need, and they are still alive in this map, Mika.
They are, even with that, you know, nice play over there from Claire. That flux from Easy Clap just was able to get Cres and DPS off of the high ground and off of the entire point. I mean, that just really set them back. And I just feel like GameStonks over here was just able to form that clutch. I feel like the momentum isn't quite on their side yet, though. I feel like Cres and DPS, they can still take up a lot of space on this, and they can still, you know, gain back this. They can still gain back the position. They can still take back all of that space and possibly defend.
All they need to do is stay alive as 6 and go for the push onto the payload. And Easy Clap trying to take that elevator, but the only stairway he's taking is one to heaven because he will die there. Fear of God right now, just bringing in his own ideals and bringing in that shot. How the hell did he get the angle on the Reinhardt? I will never know, but it's just Cres on DPS getting the cleanup. Westworld is theirs for the taking.
I would like to say that was perfectly timed and perfectly planned, just to, you know, just to show how amazing Fear of God is on that McCree. Really playing with the elevator to be able to get, you know, these angles and everything, and keep the enemy team guessing as to where he actually is. Is he going up? Is he going down? We will never know, like you mentioned.
But GameStonks right now, they're the ones onto the uppy up instead, and they're finding the pickoffs as Cres on DPS tries to defend into the front line instead. Fear of God though, still fearing no one whatsoever. This is his elevation to take, and he's brawling against Earlix on the other side. Soldier versus McCree has been basically the DPS test of all time. But the McCree says, okay, time's back on the way because the Sigma is there to bully me to fruition. GameStonks though, they're running out of chances, but they still have one more good push in them.
Right, and they will be relying heavily, of course, on Firewall Shatter, and we'll see if he can get into the right position to use it properly. And they do have the 2 support ultimates coming in as well, which could be very, very crucial as time ticks on down and we head on over into these last few seconds in this particular point.
Oh, grabbing the surge, gonna be there. It does get a good catch. And immediately Claire is able to get a swoop in. Ampha just amping up the damage and going for more. And the control from Cres on DPS is looking unmatched in this map. That is gonna be goodbye to the Soldier and the Sigma. And this should be it. Cres on DPS preventing that second point capture. GameStonks now, they know how far they have to go on their defense. And they just want to hold the line by the first objective, or they're gonna be giving up this grand final.
I feel like this was really good for YS Crest on DPS. I mean, the payload is right there, and that can be very demoralizing for an attacking team. And you know what, YS Crest on DPS, I feel like their tank lineup once again, perfect synergy, and their support lineup as well. I mean, you could really see them capitalize on the Brigitte. She had that armor on the McCree the whole time, making Fear of God like basically a tanky sort of McCree, and he was just on the high ground and able even to take a few picks and really push back GameStonks. And you know what? If Wisecrest on DPS can, I do think that they can be stronger on their attacking side, because we have seen very, very aggressive plays from Charmaine and from Anfa. And if they're bringing out the Wrecking Ball and the Reinhardt, this is looking quite good for Wisecrest on DPS.
The raid boss damage, basically, and it really feels like that Fear of God is just putting the spotlight on himself with shots like that. Wise Crest on DPS, they have been scrapping all throughout this tournament. And maybe that scrappiness, maybe that fight they always have will lead them to victory. This is their chance to prove it. This is their chance to wrap it up. Can GameStonks defend, though, and force out a map number 7? Will we go the distance, or will we end here on Hollywood? It's time to see what these careers can do. It's time for the lights, the camera, and the action to go. As here comes Wisecrest on DPS on the latter half of Hollywood. And they're playing the ball. They're playing the Reinhardt, Lucia Bath with the McCree and the Echo. Seems like a bit of comfort picks here and there for Wisecrest on DPS. Disruption right now from the Hamster. And this is interesting because it's all about rotations. But Fear of God, he's hit by the Sleep Dart, and they have to be careful in protecting him.
That's right. That could prove to be quite crucial over here, but I think Charmaine doesn't quite care. He's just gonna charge on in, and especially with that Lucio speed boosting on him on in, it looks like they're pushing. Look at that. The attackers have become the defenders, and it looks like Wisecrest is just getting a free ticket over here to the point.
What a big boop from Ampha. He found the timing and he just put everyone to the floor. Immediately as soon as that happened, Charmaine and the rest of the crew dropping on down. And GameStonks forgetting to invest today on a site. And that will be the point being activated and being captured now by Wisecrest on DPS. This is such a big time back. This is such a big advantage, Mika. GameStonks now at the end of their rope.
Right, GameStonks just really have to pull out all of the stops at this point, because Wisecrest on DPS just looking so on point right now. They're playing with their food at this point. They're playing with their food, even meleeing the Ashe, on their way out. And just look at that. A sleep dart onto Anfa won't even stop him. He's just gonna take a snooze for a few seconds. But Wisecrest on DPS just pushing on in. And for GameStonks, they really have to perform well. They really have to pull out everything they have in their arsenal at this point.
Pile driver mines, and there we go with the cleanup crew. GameStonks is just looking worse for wear, and this is just Ampha just finding more and more of those ways to amp up the rest of the team, because this is just the speediness of the Wrecking Ball bringing in that momentum for Wisecrest on DPS. Not only that, Fear of God with a high ground, Pile driver gonna be into play, and it just feels like it's all about picks right now for the blue hand side. That payload though is rounding the corner, Mika, and this is gonna be very, very close.
Absolutely, and GameStonks, it just looks like they're being backed into a corner here with no more options. Just look at Wisecrest and DPS take up so much space, and with that shatter, with that window coming in, it just looks hopeless on the side of GameStonks.
Here we go with the flashbang, and here we go with the shots! You gotta ask that question, why is Cres on DPS? Because you want the team to be in full force like this. Why is Cres on DPS are our champions for the PACommunity tournament beta, and what a win that was on Hollywood. Dominance abound yet again. After all the scraps, all the fights, they wrap it up on such a high note with such an amazing and such a dominating win on Hollywood.
Absolutely, I think GameStonks, they really did hesitate. I feel like that Sombra pick not working out kind of like demoralized them, set them back a few, and they weren't able to take the momentum back and take those few steps forward. And Wisecrest on DPS just really capitalized on that and just brought out everything. That was amazing. Really, really great rotations on the side of them too.
Everyone's stepping it up. Like, it really feels like everyone who had an MVP performance from all the maps we had beforehand, they all came together, they all popped off, and it was just the Wisecrest on DPS show. And like I said, This is why Cres is on DPS, guys. So you can have a tank line like this, you can have a support line like this, you can have a DPS line like this. It doesn't matter.
Now our audience knows the mystery
Yeah,
of
the
why
answer
Cres
is
on
there.
DPS.
It's a team effort, guys, every single time. It's not just one player defining it, but because of those, I'd say, role swaps, those positions now, then they're very happy in their current configuration. What a win it has been, though, for Cres on DPS, taking down GameStonks, and it really feels like for GameStonks, this team on the other side has been their kryptonite. We saw it in the group stage, we saw it now, but it really was GameStonks bringing their A game also and being so imposing many times.
Absolutely. I mean, they were also on point and had some amazing plays. I mean, Casadox, we did see that, really awesome clutch blossom on Volskaya, and Easy Clap was just definitely on point with his off tanking and just, being that sort of like other half of the GameStonk sandwich. So, they're definitely not a team. I don't feel like, this is a total loss for GameStonks because they did exceptionally well on our grand finals tonight.
They made it this far, and you also gotta give it to the likes of Earlix. The hit scan prowess, absolutely incredible. So many positive things to take away for GameStonks, but in the end, our victor is Cres on DPS. What a run it has been for them, really making it happen. Many consider them the underdog coming into this game, coming into the semi-final, but they've proven wrong everyone and more, and have impressed to the next level. Cres on DPS is your PAC champion. They have found their way home to win out that $50 for their charity of choice. And what a run this has been. 6 games out of 7 was played, went down to the wire time and time again. So many different fights that could have gone either way. So many crucial clashes. But now, Mika, anything you want to say before we wrap this up?
Now, I just want to say that this entire grand finals, it was really close. And I still maintain that, these two teams could have kept us guessing until the very, very last clash, and they definitely did. It was incredibly close, and, I feel like even though GameStonks, we were saying that they were hesitating a little bit, this is just a beta. Should we still continue with this, with more tournaments, of course, in the PA community? We could see GameStonks back, we could see them come out on front, we could see another match such as this once again, and I am definitely looking forward to that.
And guys, don't forget, we still got some post-match going on to break out the last bits of action. But for us in the casters, we'll be signing off here. Cres on DPS is your PAC champion. Dax and Mika have been happy to serve and happy to cast all these matches. We thank you guys for the night. Our host and analyst going to be breaking it down as we go into our next breaks. We'll see you guys in just a bit.
All right, so welcome back again. Well, it's been a really good fight here between GameStonks against White Cres and DPS here. They both doing really great, but well, it turns out it's a White Cres and DPS just 4-2 over GameStonks here. A little bit of a close predictions here, but Obito got it right. Well, for one of our analysts here, but for others, well, it seems like we didn't get a tiebreaker here, which is all right. But well, it seems like why is Cres and DPS just overcome GameStonks here? But well, let's see how did why is Cres and DPS overcome and actually just win against GameStonks here. All right, so let's invite two analyzers here, Ayako and Obutos. Say hi to everyone.
Hi. Ayako, you muting?
Hello.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, and don't forget to stay tuned here because we will be inviting the players from White is Cres and DPS, the two players here for interviewing. So you guys can stay here and then one player from each team, sorry. So you guys can stay here and then talk to them, okay? All right, so let's just do some analysis here between these two teams. All right, so I will go out with Oputo first. All right, so what happened to GameStonks? How did GameStonks lose against White is Cres and DPS? Like, what's going on?
I think that they out of plan. Like, the more the map they play, the more they can't surprise enemy team. So I feel like they just like think about it and play too passive. Like, especially in Hollywood, they try something new like Sombra, and I feel like it should not be like that. I feel like Elix, he swapped to Farah as well, but I feel like he should stick with McCree and play what he good at, not just try something new that the team is not comfortable to play. Yeah.
So they hadn't like practiced before, but they just go straight with the plan. They haven't practiced before, and well, they kind of choked her. All right, so Ayako, what do you think? The reason why GameStonks lost?
I feel that as the games went by, the team started to, instead of being explosive and unpredictable, to more of uncoordinated. So like when it went on to what do you call it? Like even at Busan, there were still hints like they were like already struggling to stabilize. Then as the maps like went on, you can see like they were like out of place. You can see that they're playing things that they were not prepared for, and they were like probably not prepared for, like probably not practiced enough. So I think Cres, just won them in that part. So I think probably they also were nervous. Yeah, you see like the attacks were like uncoordinated.
Yeah, and I think they're not prepared well to play against ball. I can see like Amphod like make a lot of trouble for Busan and Hollywood as well. Yeah.
All right, so well, it's kind of unfortunate here, but speaking of GameStonks, let's move on to why is Cres and DPS. Well, how did why is Cres and DPS overcome GameStonks here? So what do you think, Ayako?
I think why is Cres or DPS they eventually won because like they were more consistent. Like from map 1 all the way to the last map, you can see like how they play is still the same. Like they probably changed a little bit here and there in terms of hero picks, but you can see like as a team they worked really well like throughout all the maps. And then GameStonks, on the other hand, you can see like they were like struggling a bit. So I think in the end, consistency and teamwork, I think just overtook GameStonks.
Yeah, I definitely do agree with you. They got a synergy back. They just, keep the momentum going, and they eventually got the victory over GameStop here. So what about you, Oputo? What do you think?
I think Cres on DPS, they play consistency and they're not like overthinking. They just keep like playing what they're going at, then they improve map by map. Like on the first map, they play like too passive, right? And then after that, they just start proactive a little bit and become like overcome after that. Yeah.
No, right. So, well, both of Ayako and Oputo have the same opinions here. All right. And so I'm going to ask you guys' opinion on this match so far. Start from game 1 here. You do a prediction here that Oputo predicts that White is Cres and DPS is going to win, and they eventually win over the series. And so what do you think, like the opinion on this match so far? Oputo, let's go.
My opinion? Mm, I have no
Like-
idea.
like, did
what?
did it go as you expect? Did it go as you predict, or it's like a little bit off, or no?
Oh, I feel like it's what I predict pretty much. But some map it surprised me like Legion Tower and Dorado. Yeah,
Ah.
I feel like Dorado should be the map that Cres on DPS should win. Like they play pretty well, but they just try to do some cheese at the end of the map. So and they're
I
not
see.
consistency enough on that comp. I feel like, yeah. But this map and this matchup is pretty fun.
All right. So, well, what about you, Ayako? Like, what's your opinion on this match? Did it go as you expect, or you expect for tiebreaker here, right? And
Yeah.
well, eventually, Vice Crystal TBA just won over GameStonks 4-2. So, what do you think?
Well, like, yeah, I predicted 4-3 tiebreaker, but like throughout the match, I was like, maybe not. Maybe they might get upset. Looking at how the teams play against each other. So I was like, I couldn't decide like whether each team was like gonna win or not. So it's just there. But yeah,
All
it's
right, so
a
both,
fun match.
yeah, both teams are on par together. All right, so for my final question, here's your player of the match. All right, so it's time to decide right now. Ayako, who is your player of the match?
100% Empha. Has to be Empha.
Empha is Ayako's MVP. And what about you, Oputo?
I feel like Empha is a key player, make them win like the last 3 maps. Yeah, he is the key. But I want to pick Chermini because Chermini is make a lot of like, how to say that, like
both tanks
big
did a lot.
play. Yeah.
Ah,
but
right.
Empha is about like he consistency, like play for the team, make a lot of good play from him, but not that big compared to Chermini. Yeah.
All right, so the final most valuable player for Ayako is Ampha, and for Obito is Shermani. Well, both of these tank duo, they're really good. They're not gonna lie here. So I definitely do agree with you two here. All right, so I think our players are ready right now, and we are ready for interview here. So let's introduce Shermani from What is Christian DPS and Easy Clap from GameStonks. All right, so let's welcome these two, and we'll be asking them a little questions like how are they feeling right now. All right, so Shermani, so you're the winning teams for this PACommunity tournament. So how are you feeling right now?
Honestly, I never thought we've gone this far because, first of all, all of our teammates have very busy schedules. We only scrimmed like once a week, and we only had 2 or 3 scrims in total. And at the beginning of the entire tournament, we were a bit messy. Because we've only played together as a team only once, and that was in the Ace tournament, and we didn't really do that well. So coming into this, I think everyone, including me, felt nervous. But I think towards the end, I just feel proud of myself for managing to grow with my team, because we actually did improve a lot since day one. Because day one we were still making a lot of mistakes, but towards the last match, we were already cleaning up most of our mistakes. We were making better rotations. We were planning our outs better, and overall, I guess we're just more organized as a team. Yeah.
All right, so but your team has been doing really great so far. So do you expect your team to like be the first number 1 and the winner of this basic community tournament beta?
No. I think the furthest I've expected my team to go would be probably semi-finals, because because our first game was actually against McDonald's fan club, and we got rolled. So seeing McDonald's fan club also moving on to the progressive stages, we we just assumed that we are never gonna beat them because we got rolled in stage 1. So we're assuming best case would be just semi-finals. But yeah, they got beaten by GameStonks, which we were quite happy about because we would have rather faced GameStonks than McDonald's because we just got demoralized by the team on day 1. Yeah.
Right, but you guys just win this tournament. All right, so congratulations for you and your team. Why is Cres and DPS here? I'm really really proud of you guys here. All right, so let's invite in our second player here, Easy Clap from GameStonks here, which is our second runner-up here. All right, so let's welcome him and say hi to Shashat.
Hello, chat.
All right, so how are you feeling getting the second runner up? Do you expect your team to get on the second place?
To be honest, at first, when we first formed the team, I actually didn't think we would even qualify. But after playing the first map and during the official match, I see a lot of people improve. Like they stepped up. Like I know Cres stepped up like crazy. Fi actually stepped up a lot. Like I know yesterday's match, he played really well. He managed to beat beat the, I think, McDonald's. And we actually were very scared of McDonald's because they're like a rush white. To us, we heard that like they're rush one trick map. We thought he was going to get screwed over by them, that he's going to get run over. But surprisingly, he held his own, which I think is really good.
All right, so well, I mean, getting second place in this tournament here. So I'm really curious here. How long have you guys been practicing before getting into this tournament? So do you guys even scrim, or like how long or how much do you scrim?
I think we scrim like once a week, and like this week, the finals week, we scrim twice only, and seems pretty good lah. Like every scrim was very productive. Like we say, we can step up. Originally, to be very honest, it was when we first started the team, it was like 2v6, but now you can see everybody just stepped up like crazy, and we even qualified to like finals.
Wow. So well, I mean, I'm pretty happy for you guys. And a lot of people in the chat just rooting for your team, GameStonks here. And so as well, I'm so proud of you guys. Getting a second runner up. It's been a brawl here between your team and the GameStonks and the Cres and DPS here. There's so much fun here and a really tough fight. All right, so now let's invite the Sharmaini from Cres and DPS here, and also invite another 2 analysts here for questioning. All right, so let's go.
Okay, so we just ask them now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I have one question for both teams. Like when you guys were playing against each other, right? Which team comp do you think was the weirdest or the hardest to play against? Like you'll be like, oh shit, they're running this again. How are you gonna beat this? Or like they're running double shield again, or whatnot. Like which comp was the most tough to go against?
I'll go first.
Yeah.
Yep. So I think the weirdest comp that we faced so far from that team was Ryan Winston, cause I think our entire team, we've scrimmed against that team I think twice, and they've played Ryan Winston against us multiple times, but we just had no idea what to do, cause the Winston just came in, just separated the tanks from the rest of the team, and just made a lot of space. And we just couldn't think of a way to just counter this comp until one of my teammates just suggested to play Hawk. So I just swapped to Hawk, and I think they swapped out the Ryan Winston. Yeah, but I think that was the weirdest comp that we faced, the Ryan Winston.
Well, so I gotta say your teammates have really good instincts switching to Hog right here. All right, so well, let's go for Obito. You have any questions?
I think Easy Club not answer the question.
Oh yeah, the weirdest comp for them is actually them switching to the Hog. That was kind of weird for us.
I mean, Easy Clap, do you expect any Roadhog from Cres or DPS?
To be honest, no. I thought we could just like rush them or spam them. Then they go to Hog and then you just disrupt my ball. I don't know what to do.
Well, I gotta say, Cres or DPS, they're pretty fast. Yeah. All right, so let's go off to the second question, say from Obito. Let's go.
When you guys change the heroes to counter enemy team, or just like it's about you guys prepare before, or just instinct? I want to know that.
I think for the Hawk switch, it was mostly it wasn't prepared at all. It was it was a strat that we just decided like in the middle of the match. Yeah, and it was kind of an instinct also because Hawk is actually my comfort pick, and I was actually suggesting to my team previously that maybe we could try Hawk to disrupt the ball or the Winston. Yeah, so it wasn't really planned out. Like during scrims or during when we were analyzing our VODs, we never really discussed on playing Hawk. So it was really just a sudden strat that we just thought of.
All right. So, well, I mean, to be fair here, a comfort pick here might be like your best picks here in in all of the suddens to counters players and stuff here. All right. So, what about AC Clap here?
I think most of them is actually planned. For like we want to go rush or we want to go spam. So sometimes you swap out like the back line to go more spammy or stuff. But yeah, that's most of the time. Most of them are planned. Sometimes I just go ball because sometimes when I go ball, I just want to go ball. Ball is fun hero, but
Okay. All right. Anything you wanna say more, Easy Clap, or is that?
I want to thank the organizers for this because we can finally bring the pet community together. And also for a good cause for donation, I guess. Yeah, for a very fun tournament.
All right, it's been quite a fun here. Any more questions you want to ask these players, analyzers?
I actually have one more. Like, I think we all know that this finals had a lot of overtime, So I was wondering, like, to both of the teams, which overtime fight, if you had a chance to go back, would you redo? Like, which overtime fight would you think that you would have played better, or like, we should not have done this or whatnot? I'm curious to find out.
I think for me it would be the King's Row overtime. The last fight, I think we actually made quite a lot of mistakes. I can't remember exactly what mistakes we made, but it really dragged out the fight for us, and I think there were a few moments where we almost threw a bit and caused the other team to just win. Because at that point of time when we were having the fight, the comms were really cluttered. I think 3 of us were calling Ryan, the other 3 were calling Brick, and it was really messy. And yeah, basically that's it. I think we could have just cleaned up our comms a bit, because I think the main weakness for our team right now is during the heat of the moment, and especially like during overtime, we just get really messy and we're not really listening to each other. So that's something that we could have worked on earlier on.
Right. So, well, what about the Easy Clap? You have anything you want to say?
I think also if I want to go back, I want to go back to the King's Row one. The McCree was like on high ground, just dealing damage into us, and we just didn't plan about that properly.
Right. But well, I mean, overall, you both doing really great. Both teams, GameStonks and White Cres and DPS. So, any more questions from Obito? You got question you want to ask?
What do you guys discussion between map or between break? Did you guys do anything? Because like from what I see, like I see why is chess on DPS they improve a lot, but why, like I feel like from GameStonks you guys look so more passive compared to the first map.
Yeah, so in between maps, we actually scouting out. So we went back to watch the previous VODs. So for example, for Hollywood, before the Hollywood match started, we actually went back to watch our stage 2 game, where we actually played against the same team also on Hollywood. And we basically just went over what we did wrong. Like during the fight, what did we do wrong? How come we couldn't push? And basically, picking out the small mistakes that we were making. and we basically wanted to play around their comp, and yeah, basically just scouting out and just analyzing last minute all small mistakes.
Right. So, well, I mean, so that's the reason that you guys bounced back and got a synergy back here, right?
Yep.
All right. So, well, that's quite impressive here. You guys just take a look, a little time to take a look at VOD here. That's impressive. All right. So, you got any more questions here, Ayako?
Wait, hold on. Easy Clap, do you have anything
Yeah, Easy
for...
Clap.
I
Yeah.
forgot. Sorry. All right. You something you want to say, Easy Clap?
During each map, we always just try to figure out what's like going wrong, whether we want to play fast, we want to play slow. So that's why I think like throughout the end, we tried to play more spammy comps. Like we switch off the Lucio, go for like Mercy and stuff. Yeah, but we tried that, but I guess it didn't work out.
All right. I get it. All right.
I do
So
have one
okay.
last question.
Okay. Go on.
Okay, so like between each of your teams, which one player was the most painful to deal with? Like, for example, like the DPS on the other team or the other tank, you know, which opponent was the hardest to deal with throughout this entire finals match?
I think there were actually two players. So in the first half of this stage, right? I think it was Elix, yeah, because he was really just flanking us, playing off angles, and we couldn't really punish that because the main tanks, the tanks, both of us, me and Empha, we were busy focusing on the front line, while the supports were just getting destroyed at the back, and we weren't really peeling for supports, yeah. And okay, but towards the end, when they started to switch to more spammy comms, I think it was Easy Clap that made us frustrated the most because he charged his flux so fast that we had to play around the fact that I think every fight, let's just assume that he has flux and play split. And we I actually called out to our team that so we were defending on Hollywood and we were pushing so we just assumed Easy Clap had flux. So I just called out to my team not to push upstairs because we just get flux, which happened also in stage 2. But we kind of tunnel vision, and in the end we did push upstairs and we got fluxed and we lost the fight. Yeah.
Well, anything you want to say, Easy Clap?
For me, I think it's Ampha, right? And I guess to be honest, it's the both tanks. Especially when he go hog just now, I guess he cut me hard on the ball. And then for just the both tanks, they're just pushing out really smart, really fast, and also they know how to play around the team. Like if they want to go fast, they want to go slow, they're always there. Very, very efficient.
All right. So, well, actually, I got a questions for you, Shermani. Since like your teammates here, they were on the chat and they said that their Dorado overtime was the most heartbreaking overtime ever. Like, I'm actually curious, like, what's going on there, like the cause of C9 from that? Because you guys like almost got it right, but it turns out that it's GameStonks here who actually just got the map win. Like, what's going on there?
I think we were too scared to push because I think what happened was the enemy BEP dropped the window and everything, our comm started to get messy again. And I can't really remember what happened during that fight, but I just know that we just got picked off one by one. And I think maybe our I think Fear of God, our DPS, because he actually did most of the shot calling, most of the rotations and our strats. So I think he got picked off first, and then our comms just kind of went messy. Yeah. And I was at the front line. I was just too scared to push through the window because everyone was just spamming through the window, and I eventually just got scared. We didn't comm properly. We didn't call for didn't call to push together, or maybe push through the window together, or maybe just call to hide behind the cut. And instead we just slowly backed off, and we C9'd.
All right. So, well, that happened, but Well, eventually you guys won the series and you guys are the champion. All right, so you got more questions here, Ayako, Obito?
No.
I'm no more questions.
Okay, so I think we can wrap up from here. So this is the end of our PAC community tournament here. Thank you guys so much for watching since the day one of our tournaments here. And we really appreciate all the donations and supports from you guys here. And I think you guys should expect more tournaments from us here. And we really appreciate all your supports here. All right, so thank you guys. You four say goodbye to chat. Say goodbye here. And we will see you guys in the next tournament. Peace out.
Okay, bye.
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 Bye.